Division 2, and we're live with Tux. What up, banditos? Hope you're all having a beautiful morning or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. And I have a good show for you today. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the best solo legendary builds in the game, hands down. This build is so amazing, it caused basically a movement. And yeah, so we're going to go into that. We can talk about the build details and how you can make it. So, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's just make sure I'm coming in loud and clear. So for yo chat, if you can hear me, if I'm coming in good, please give me a hashtag Tux Live, and then that will get us started. That just lets me know that you can hear me a-okay. Little studio mic check. I-Red, appreciate you, man. All right, there we go. Sounds like I'm coming in good. So I'm gonna do a little fast traveling here. So while that's loading up, a little housekeeping stuff, guys. Hey, first off, if you like what I do and you want to support me and the Division 2 community, you want to support the cause, then make sure you hit the like on this live stream right now. Subscribe if you haven't, and join Texas Players Club. And just want to do a shout out to Days, if I'm saying your name right. Appreciate the sub, man. Thanks for that. What's going on, Brian Holloway? Who else we got up in the house? Melvin Cockney, what's up, brother? How are you, man? Brian, Melvin, where you guys from? Let us know. What part of the world? Are you in the U.S.? Like to get a, and then what time zone, what city? That's always helpful too, so I know. I try to kind of gauge where the audience is coming from. So, and I try to move these live streams around so I can make sure I catch everybody, because we got a lot of boys up in Australia, down in Australia. A lot of UK boys, and you know, and a lot of people in the European time zones. So I feel crooked on this camera right now. Why do I look so crooked? Somebody help me out. Who else we got? Ultra Mega Man. Speaking of Aussies, what's up, brother? From Sydney, CDB. yo, what's going on? Sardo Numsa. And go guy who got you on your lunch break, man. Where in the world are you? Where it's your lunch break? You in the East Coast right now? Stephen Johnson, what's going on, brother? Do you guys, so most of you are probably coming from the video that I just put out. I just declassified one of the secret builds, classified builds that was available to the Texas Players Club. And that's because I got, I just dropped one of the really fun DPS builds for the Players Club just the other day. So if you guys haven't received that yet, or if you haven't checked that out yet, I'm gonna grab the link for you right here. So this is for members. You gotta be members in order to get access to this. But this is the 8% regen Rockstar build. So let me put that in. So if you didn't, if you haven't watched that classified build, then make sure you check that out, members. And you know you're a member because you got that little skull next to your name. And if you guys didn't know, for those of you that are new to the channel or just showed up to this one of these streams for your first time, classified builds are secret builds that are made just for Texas Players Club, and you got to be a true or hardcore Bandido member level to get access to these. But these are extra builds that I make as a thank you for supporting me and the channel, and therefore the entire community, because that's what I do, is I build and I support the community. So if you want to tap into these secret builds, you can get access today by making sure you're at least a true member, true Bandido member level, which is really easy to do. In order to be a member of Texas Players Club, you just got to click that link, and I dropped that there in the chat feed for you guys. But yeah. So anyways, lots of classified builds. So I just dropped one on Thursday. I put that link up there. That's the 8% regen Rockstar. And then we got 2 more builds coming out this week on the classified side. And I'm working on those right now. So I'm not sure exactly which days they will drop, but throughout the week I will be dropping them. I'll make sure you guys get notified, of course. But what up, Aaron Campbell from the UK. Appreciate you, man. Nicholas Jackson. Thanks for the nice words. He says, love your work, bruh. Appreciate that, Nicholas. Okay, so this is what's sparking this. So if you guys, I don't know if many of you saw the post that I put up, the community post, but what's sparking this live stream is, okay, I'm here at DZ West. So as you can see, I'm in DZ West, okay, guys? So if you go here, you can see that this is basically the only good thing to buy this week from the vendor reset, okay? And these Murakami knee pads are really nice, and I recommend you buy them, okay? So, and the reason why you want these is because they got skill damage already on them, so that gives you the flexibility to change that skill tier to armor or weapon damage or whatever. But what I recommend you do is just, I would actually optimize that skill damage all the way up, and so that way you have the flexibility with your core attributes, so you can use it for it's another way if you wanted to. So I got one before, and I should have done it, and I might even purchase this other one actually now that I think about it, so that I can have the flexibility with the core. But as you can see, the one on the right is the one that I already have, so I have this, and I highly recommend you get it. And with this piece here, okay, it's a really nice piece for hybrid skill builds, or any just skill builds in general, but we're going to talk about that today. And I use it, I think where it shines the most is in the slaughter build. So we're going to talk about the slaughter build and how I assemble it. But just while we're here, none of this other stuff is really worth buying. None of the other vendors, DZ vendors, really have anything, including the light zone vendors. There's not much there to look at, so just so you know. But going into these knee pads again, so these are the named Murakami knee pads. They're called Emperor's Guard. I got a ton of them, maybe like 6 or 7 or so, whatever. But this is another set that I have, which is all blues, right? So a ton of regen coming in from that. And then here's an all red version with crit damage. So you want a variety of these. They're actually really helpful. So this would go on a DPS build. And the duration isn't that great, but it does help on a DPS build keep your fixer drone up. And on a skill hybrid build, it's gonna help keep your attack drones and attack turret up. So really helpful. And then for armor regen builds, if you're going with the blues, then it's going to bring a ton to the table there for you. But today we're going to talk about slaughter. And so this is basically the slaughter build. And a lot of you guys are familiar with slaughter. Many of you subscribe because of slaughter to my channel. But it sort of set kind of the mark, you know, I think really, as far as hybrid skill damage builds that are capable of doing solo legendary. And it uses basically the best gear sets / named items in the game to basically help you get out of cover and move, so to speak, trophy to trophy and clear legendary content relatively quickly. Now, we're not talking about competitive speeds like, you know, for speed running legendary content, but for, you know, clearing it quickly so that, you know, whether you're doing a solo or in group, so that you can move through it and kind of move through your content quickly. So, and then I'm gonna actually show this gameplay. I just recorded some gameplay with this version. So it's a little bit different than the original. So I want you to know that, and I'll point out what that is. But, so, this legendary solo hybrid, okay, again, this is the slaughter. And in the link of this actual, live stream is the original build link to slaughter, and I'm actually going to grab that right now, and I'm going to put it in the chat feed for those of you that want to check out the full build video later. Let me just do that while I remember. Okay, cool. Okay, so slaughter build. Cool, and I do definitely recommend you check out the original when you guys get a chance, because it talks about kind of why and how, and then and how fast you can get through content. Yeah. Anyways, so it's sort of gonna be centered on the capacitor, and so this beautiful little beast. This is actually a hybrid skill piece. So for those, there's a lot of people who be like, oh, hybrids suck. Well, you're probably using a lot of hybrid pieces that you don't realize are actually hybrids. So like the capacitor is a hybrid build piece, and so is the memento. I mean, this is just like, it defines hybrids, right? So red, blue, and yellow. So, but the capacitor is actually designed for hybrids. So the devs delivered it in a time where they were saying that they wanted to see players not just throw their skills out and hide behind cover. They wanted to see players more active in the game. And so they brought us the Capacitor to help us do that. And so if you notice, if you look at the mods there, it comes with a nice little level of crit chance and crit damage for us already, and then some weapon handling and a few extra rounds. But the RPMs are 700. It's got 41 in the mag, so I do wish it had more in the mag, but it is what it is. Assault rifle damage, damage to armor, and health damage, so that makes it nice and well-rounded for taking out tech as well, because tech usually has health damage bars, so we're talking like tanks, as well as weak points and chungas. So this is really nice for legendary. And then of course, what makes it a nice hybrid piece is that we're getting weapon damage from each skill tier. So we are running 6 skill tiers, and then we're getting 7.5 weapon damage per skill tier. And then this is also going to give us 60% skill damage to our drone and our turret. You can see that. So the other part that makes this build is the memento. Now, you've probably heard me say several times that what makes a build like basically OP is one that can take advantage of the short-term buffs, because the short-term buffs, if you're maximizing, kind of playing into one of those short-term buffs, then you're gonna get major spurts of damage or bonus armor or whatever you're looking for. And in this case, as you can see, we're running 6 skill tiers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 from technician. So we got 6 skill tiers. We got 2 armor bars and 1 weapon damage core, okay? So when every time we pick up a single trophy, we're gonna get 30% skill efficiency, which is better than the waveform holster. I'm not sure if I have the waveform on me. I don't, but that's better than the waveform holster. So this is sort of actually, if you can get out of cover and actually get your trophies, which not every build can. So that's what makes this build unique, is that you can solo legendary and actually get out of cover and pick up your trophies. So that's why we like this build. And then, so we're taking advantage of everything this backpack has to offer because of that. So the short-term buffs we're gonna pick up and get that instant 30% skill efficiency, which is also 30% skill damage and skill health and skill duration and skill haste and skill repair, everything you can imagine. And then we're getting 10% bonus armor, and we got 2 blue cores. So 10% per core. So we're getting 20% bonus armor when we pick up a trophy. And then we're also getting 5% weapon damage because we do have 1 weapon damage core. But that's not a problem. We got a lot of weapon damage on this build, and I'll show you why in a minute. And then we're getting the long-term buff. So we're getting an additional 30% skill damage when we get all of those stacks of 30 trophies. And then on top of that, we're getting 3% armor regen. And so I'm really into the armor regen on this build, so you know. So we're getting 3% armor regen. The defense on this thing is effing amazing, okay? So listen to this. 3% armor regen from the backpack. 1% armor regen from the chest piece because we're running Bellstone, right? 1% armor regen. And then another 1% armor regen because of the knee pads, the Murakami. So that's 5% armor regen. Then on top of that, we have armor regen rolled on almost every piece. So I'm running the Chill Out Mask, armor regen. I'm running, again, Bellstone, but on the chest, on the secondary attribute there, we have another 5,000 armor regen. And then on the knee pads is my second piece of Bellstone. And you can see there, I got another 5,000 armor regen. So we're boosting the armor regen even higher, but we're not done. On top of the, whatever that ends up coming down to, so I think that's, that's about 1,500 right there. So that's another 1.5% armor regen from that. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6.5% armor regen, okay, on this build. And then we got 20% armor on kill. So the death grips are my gloves, all right? So I got it just like the Murakami knee pads where I already had skill damage on it. So I optimized that, and then I threw a skill tier on it, and this one gives you 10% armor on kill, which is unique. Again, these are Dark Zone only, so you can get these from named item caches by playing the Dark Zone or by hoping they show up in a Dark Zone vendor like the Murakami knee pads did today. Anyways, that's 10% armor on kill, and then another 10% armor on kill because I'm running a second piece of Bellstone that I hacked into a skill build. You see that? So normally a Bellstone comes with blues. I rolled a skill tier on this, and this is not that hard to find. Actually, I get these all the time. Armor regen and skill damage on it already on it. As a matter of fact, I have it available for every for every slot. So here's a mask version of that, and then I'm not sure if I have the gloves on me, but do a quick check. It's kind of a version of that, but I do have the gloves. They're probably just in my stash. So anyways, that's a ton of defense, right? Now let's talk about the offense. So again, 60% skill buff right here, 60%, 30% skill buff on the long terms, another 30% when we pick up a trophy, which we're doing all the time, right? And then we're running glass cannon on top of that, and then I have skill damage rolled everywhere I can. So not there, you can do it there though. And I got skill damage there, skill damage there, skill damage there, and a skill damage there on my chest piece, and then glass cannon on top of that. So before the mementos, the turret's hitting at 95,000. That's a very, very, very respectable number, okay? The turret's at about 60,000. And then it's not calculating the damage from glass cannon. That's not calculating the 60% bonus from the capacitor. And it's not calculating all the bonus skill efficiency you're getting from the memento. So this thing is gonna push way higher than that. This is a really strong skill build. It's really balanced too. So on top of that, on top of all of that defense, I have 51% protection from elites. Now that's the change from the original Slaughter. For those of you that are familiar with the original Slaughter, the original Slaughter I think has 39% protection from elites. So I decided just to make a quick change just for the fun of it. So I ran the chill out mask with armor regen and a skill tier, and then I doubled up on the protection from elites there. So before that was a wyvern. So the original had a wyvern mask here with armor regen and skill damage and a protection from elites mod. So that's the difference between the original Slaughter and this one. So yeah, so let's see how this bad boy performs. I got a little bit of gameplay footage. I just whipped this out here right before the live stream. So I didn't get a chance to, I didn't have enough time to play it all the way through to the end, but I made it about halfway through and just had to stop. So, because I didn't want to miss the live stream. You guys are imports. Let's see who's in the house. Okay, scrolling up. And by the way, if you do have any questions, please make sure you start them off with question, and then actually write out the word question. That helps catch my eye. Brian Holloway, okay, you're out of North Carolina. And Sardo, you're out of Texas. All right, cool. And then Melvin, East Coast. Cool. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So I'm a little bit behind you guys. I'm in the Pacific Northwest out of Portland, Oregon. So yeah. But I do evening, morning live streams. I get up actually really early in the morning. I get up about 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. So that's for you East Coast boys. It's about 7:30 your time. So I do streams typically not like around 9 in the morning, and then I do some in the early afternoons, and then I do some in the in my evening around 7. So try to get to all of you guys with these live streams. But to welcome you new folks. I'm doing good, Steven. Thanks for asking. Xander knows this build. Yeah, so you guys, if you don't know this build, this is one I definitely recommend. This is actually a Tux signature build. So it comes with the Tux guarantee. If you don't love it, then your money back. That whole dealio. So, and that's a joke because I don't charge for builds, but just in case you know. So, but yeah, so it's about I don't know, what about 2.5 months old? Let me see when I published this original build. August actually. So, and time flies. Gosh, it feels like I just published this. So I published this in August, and then what happened from this build, and you guys that have been following my channel for a while probably know this, is that this kind of set a wave of excitement, not inside me, but also inside the entire community, for hybrid skill builds, because this one was just so strong that with this level of defense and offense, and it's so well balanced, I think, which is more importantly than strong, it's really well balanced. So it's actually hard to get a skill build to hit harder than this. I think you could probably pull out 30, maybe another 40% skill damage off this build by removing, some of these like Bellstones or whatever for Emperor's Guard, and then running one piece of Wyvern. But that's not a lot. You might think that's a lot, but it's not. It's not doing that much for you. Most of the damage is coming. Most of the skill benefits are coming from the tiers themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's that. Let me just flip through this real quick. So it's the skill tiers that bring the most benefit to your build. So let's look at the this deal here. So every skill tier is basically giving us 20% damage, but more importantly, it's giving us health. And that's the biggest deal with skill tiers, okay? And how it differs between having just like skill damage rolled onto your build and in an actual skill tier. It's the health that you're after. If you don't have the health, especially in Legendary, you'll notice that the NPCs will actually destroy your turret all the time, and then it gets really annoying. You find yourself on cooldowns, you know? So, anyway, so that's the big deal. So we're at 6 skill tiers. So it's the tiers themselves that are driving most of your skill builds themselves, right? So if we look at this, we have skill damage everywhere. So we got skill tiers and skill damage everywhere. So we got max skill damage on this piece. The brand attribute is the only thing that doesn't have skill damage. This one's got max skill damage too. We got skill damage at the skill tier. This one's got skill damage at the skill tier. So everything, we don't need a skill tier here, but we got, and then we could put skill damage here if we wanted to. And I do have that version, but I opted not to. But if you wanted to, you could put, actually, I think it's in my stash, I do. But I do have a chill out mask with skill damage, and that's another way to go. I just felt like we have a lot of damage, and so I wanted to roll with the armor regen instead. And the reason why, again, is so that I can get out, play out of cover more. And the reason why I want to play out of cover is not because I want to run around so much, not because I can last just standing there, but it's so that I can move from trophy to trophy a lot better. And so that's what you see me doing here, is I'm taking those trophies. Now, every time I pick up a trophy, the reason why I want to pick up my trophy is because those short-term buffs are like putting my skills in my heals and my weapon damage, is putting everything basically like on like an overcharge scenario. So that's why I want to get out of cover. It's not because I want to run around and face tank chungas, although that's nice. What I really want to do is I just need to pick up the trophy so I can put things on overcharge. So I grab that trophy. I know it's focused on an enemy, my tech. And so just by grabbing that trophy, it probably pulled down that tech. Now, when my tech kills something, so this is the synergies in the build I'm going through here. Okay, so when my tech kills something, I get armor on 20% armor on kill, right? Because I have 20% armor on kill on my build. So that's my survivability. And then in between that, I'm getting armor regen passively. And as you can see, we have the damage. So chunkas are not a problem. So this is a beautiful solo legendary build for advanced players, because I think for veteran players that have been playing for a while and that are comfortable doing solo legendary, you're gonna use this build to get out of cover a lot more. That's what you're gonna do. It's gonna make you faster, okay? Now, if you're a newer player or newer to doing legendary solo, if it's something that you haven't invested a lot of time in yet, then this is also a good build for you, because it's so well balanced that, you know, if you get, I think what's really frustrating for people that are new to doing solo legendary is they get hit by grenades and the drones a lot. But because of the armor regen and the armor on kill, that this build is sort of forgiving for you there, even with glass cannon. Okay, so you're taking extra amplified damage because of glass cannon, but the armor regen and armor on kill soften that glass and make you a little less glassy, so to speak. The armor regen especially. And so it's also giving you a faster time to kill, right? So it's making you be able to kill better so that you get that 20% armor on kill. So armor on kill and glass cannon together are synergized nicely, right? Does that make sense? So because glass cannon helps you kill the enemy faster, so if they're not alive, they're not shooting at you. So you see, but also you get if you did take damage while you were killing them and you won the battle, then you're gonna get the 20% armor on kill. And so that's why armor and kill and glass cannon really synergize nicely together, I think. But yeah, so for anyways, my point is, for you newer players or people that are new to doing solo legendary, this is a beautiful build. It helps you recover from those hard hits from the explosives or from tanks or whatever. You can take a lot of damage with this build and not have to worry about your armor kits. It's rare that I use an armor kit. But yeah, and so anyway, so this sparked a wave of hybrids. And so once I created this hybrid build, I said, well, is it possible to make one even better? And that's where we got my series of hybrids coming out. What's up, Fernando Fernandez? I like your name, man. It's got a ring to it. From Puerto Rico, all right. Welcome, man. Glad we get some peeps from Puerto Rico. John B mentions that somebody beats maybe legendary District Union in under 8 minutes. Well, that's pretty fast. I've seen it in 11 or 12 minutes as a group, but I haven't seen the solo player play this in 8 minutes. That's pretty incredible. There's some incredible solo players out there. Yeah, I don't really go for records. You guys see me like demonstrated fast clears. The real point of that is like I'm not trying to measure the size of my dick or anything like that, right? And show you that I'm the boss of legendaries or anything like that. What I'm trying to show you really is that the build is efficient. It does what it does really well. That's the point of that, The point of having a fast time to kill is it does equate to fast clears, but the real point is that the longer it takes you to take down an enemy, right, then the greater chances of you getting overwhelmed or cornered or something like that, right? So that's the point of having a fast time to kill. That's why it's a big piece of your survivability in all your builds, right? And so what I'm demonstrating with quick clears is like, I don't care if I'm the fastest or the slowest in the game. I don't really care. What I'm trying to show you is that the build is really efficient. But what I do care about is I do like clearing content quickly. It is important that I get through content quickly because I got things to do. You got things to do, right? We want to clear control points quickly. 3 to 5 minutes is nice, but definitely under 10 minutes, right? And so that way we can farm for whatever we're looking for, create new builds, have fun. It's also fun and more exhilarating to play that quickly. So, but yeah, there's a lot of, thanks for mentioning, John, but yeah, there's a lot of speedrunners out there that can do these things, under 15 minutes. And it's pretty amazing to watch. I actually like watching them. But, and I pick up a lot of tricks from speedrunners. I mean, that's how I actually learned to do solo legendaries, is kind of watching some of these solo speedrunners and kind of seeing what they do. And not that I'm actually doing speedruns, but you do pick up some nice little nuances with this, with how they play legendaries. But what's going on, Rick Ross? How are you, man? Oh, good, Rick. You're running this build. You have this build in your loadouts. Yeah. I'm glad you tried it because it won you over, it sounds like, as well. Really well-rounded and well-rounded. So just so you guys know, this is important detail, okay? If you go to my YouTube page, I created and this is kind of new, I created a whole playlist to hybrid skill builds. So this is a hybrid skill build, right? And so what's hybrid about it is that it brings in a balance of all of that, basically defense to that offense. So the offense is the skill tiers and the skill damage. The defense is the armor on kill and the armor regen. And so that's what's making it hybrid. That's the hybridization here. It's like Bellstone is normally kind of a tanky thing, right? And so we've taken that tank, we hacked it into a skill build. So that's what's really cool about this. I mean, just watch these chungas. They are not going to be a problem. For me, a good measure of a build is like here, for example, is not falling back. So if I don't have to fall back, then I know, okay, my DPS is in a good place, my survivability is in a good place. But if I have to fall back, then I kind of frustrated. That means either my DPS is too high, but I can't take punches, and so I need to fall back and kind of grab a better angle. But with this one, I'm actually taking those turrets. So that guy in the back is actually hitting me with the turret, but my armor regen is so high that I survived those bullets, and I'm still able to actually shoot out of cover. And it allows me to push forward on him instead of kind of hiding and wait for him to come to me, right? So also, you remember your tech does a really good job at aggroing the enemy, and that's why these builds are really cool to run. So Negotiator's Dilemma, the build that you saw before, that just before this video. So Negotiator's Dilemma is like a really popular way to do solo legendary, even if you go like all red and glass cannon with it and use a police M4. So that's the other way to go, and that's how a lot of people use Negotiator's Dilemma to solo legendary. But I think this is more fun, and part of the fun is because my tech takes so much aggro off of me. I can move freely. Moving freely helps me get into better positions. It helps me play more aggressively. It helps me grab those trophies and put my tech and my armor regen and my bonus armor on overcharge. So anyways, I actually throw this in a bad position here, but notice I throw my turret over. That grabs aggro from the enemies before I open the gate, but unfortunately I missed my toss there, but we manage. Destroyer of words. Who this? Who this? Who this? Who are you? What's going on, Destroyer of words? That reminds me, guys. The Tux clans. We're growing. We are thriving in a time where clans are dying. So we have 3 Tux clans on Xbox. We just opened up one recently, the 3rd one recently. It does fill up quickly. It takes about we average about 2 weeks to fill up a clan. So if you want in, now's the time. Many of the Tux clan commanders are actually on this live stream. So if you do want to get involved, hit up hashtag Tux clan and then say, hey, let me in. Knock knock. Who there? So, anyways, and then let us know what platform you're on, and then that will get the right commander's attention. So, also, you can, Latina's dropping links. You can head over to our Discord. That's a great place to get involved and to hook up with the clans. Speaking of that, if you're not using the Discord, you should be using the Discord anyways. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything, and it's an amazing resource. It's a great way to augment your Division 2 experience. So, if you want to get more out of this game and not be so reliant on the devs as far as having fun in this game, then you need a strong community. And that's basically what we've built over at Discord and here on YouTube as well with Tux's Players Club. So a strong community is really important now at a time where we're waiting for people to, or for these devs to kind of figure out their schedules and get us that new content, right? So we were supposed to be getting it in February and we didn't, so. But yeah, so you guys, you know, what I'm saying basically to sum it up is just come join us on Discord. It doesn't cost anything. It's free, and it's a really positive environment. And especially if you're like a build connoisseur and you love builds, or then we also have great build talks and channels dedicated just to builds in a non-snobby way. It's not a right or wrong type of place. It's more of getting ideas and getting feedback on your build and helping you evolve your builds or try new things. So, and if you got things to share, if you're a veteran in this player, just same to you. This is a place to be. It's not just for new people. It's for people that are really good at this game and have a lot of game knowledge and game theory understanding and can help the newer guys as well. So we need you too. So please come join us over on Discord. Don't cost a thing. If you're not familiar with Discord, it's basically just like the live chat that you're in. It's just a bunch of live chats, all focused on a particular topic. Sean Rogers, welcome to the Players Club. And you became a true Bandido member level. Good for you. Thanks, man. I really appreciate the support. Honestly, I do. That means a lot. You're supporting the cause. And actually, now that you reminded me also, thanks, Sean, for the reminder here that I'm going to drop a link for you Players Club members. But this is one of these links is going to take you over to my my YouTube homepage, okay? And there, right at the top, is going to be a playlist just for members only. And that's how you can get to all of those classified builds that I created. And Sean Rogers, you get access to those classified builds, those secret builds that are made just for Texas Players Club as an extra build. And these builds are thank yous for supporting me in the community. So you get to tap into those. And for those of you, anyways, and so that's an easy place to find them, I guess is my point. Also, on Discord, I do have a private channel for members only. And so that is also in that link. That's the second link there. It's going to take you over to Discord. Just go to Texas Players Club, and there's a lobby there, and you ask for permission to get in, and the admin will let you in. And so all the admin will need is your YouTube username. And I play on Xbox at James K. If you're asking me, I am on the Xbox. Paul, you're on the Xbox clan. All right, man. Congrats. Welcome. Welcome. I hope we get a chance to play together. I'd be working a lot, though. I admit. I wish I got to play this game more than I do. But what I mean by working is I work on a lot of build videos and creating builds and stuff like that. And so for much of that, I do roll solo. Han Solo. A, because he's my hero. And B, because I got to move quickly when I'm farming stuff. And so I make a lot of changes on the fly with my builds. I'm like, oh, I need a little more of this, and I need a little more of that. Let me try this, and let me try that, and fast traveling back and forth. And so that can be an inconvenience or annoying to a group, you know, when one of the players is constantly bailing. So, and that'd be me. What's going on, Digital Dogs? How are you, brother? Oh, good, man, Sean. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you love the builds, and now you get access to even more of them. So, Players Club basically has maybe a 4-week head start to most of my builds, most of on the secret builds. So I do eventually declassify secret builds, as you guys saw this morning. The Negotiator's Dilemma hybrid skill build was declassified this morning. So that was a classified build for Texas Players Club only at one point that I created a while back. I don't even remember when I created that one. And so as they mature, then I declassify them and constantly adding new ones for you guys to enjoy. Also, if you're a hardcore Bandito, then you get some extra perks on top of that. You get digital downloads, and I create music videos and gamer playlists, basically music playlists. So if you like my jams that I got going in the background, then that's a sample of what I do. Anyways, you can download these as well. So you can download them, put them on your MP3 players or your computer or whatever you got. And then, but I also have them on a stream format with a really cool kind of hypnotizing background so that you can have them streaming on YouTube while you're playing. And as if you're like me, I'm a solo player, so I consider myself a solo player, even though obviously I play in groups too. But, you know, I love to turn up my music and to have it jamming in the background, you know what I mean? And I pick songs that have a kind of a higher, you know, beats per minute so that I can play quickly. It kind of gets me hyped. It gets me in the zone, you know? In the zone. Like, I'm literally playing for a couple of hours with my head bobbing like this. Not really. Not really. I think I probably sprained my neck if I played the whole time bobbing my head like this. Let's not do that. Richard Pig. Welcome to the Players Club. Woo woo. Richard Pig. Appreciate you, Lou. Appreciate you, man, for supporting the community. Thanks, man. That means a lot. Hopefully you caught that. I just dropped some links. So you should definitely, Richard, you should definitely head over to Discord too. Again, you get access to the private channel, and that gets you access to me. So for you guys that are in the Players Club, I hope you use that resource. Definitely, you can you know, ask me if you to advice on your builds. If you want me to give you some pointers or to tune it up, or if you just have build questions, or you just want to talk D2 or anything else, then, you know, the best place to get to me is on Discord in the members only channels, because then we can have actual conversations instead of just comments on a video. So I invite you to do that. Wick the Swede, yeah. So get those D-pads. So yeah, guys, this is what sparked this live stream, and why I'm featuring this video is because of these knee pads. You can buy them today. Wick the Swede, you need to be one of them. And you can buy these at DZ West, okay? And so this is my version. So I recommend you do it a little bit differently than what I did. So I recommend you optimize skill damage, okay? Optimize skill damage, and then re-roll the skill tier or keep it and then save your re-roll for later. So you might want armor there or weapon damage there or whatever, but it'll give you more flexibility if you just optimize skill damage. And so I wasted my re-roll on skill damage. So anyways, do that. And yeah, you'll start completing your set. And then this is what the build looks like that you were watching the gameplay. And as you can see, I'm basically breezing through the legendary content. It's and part of that is because again, it's not how much armor you have. I'm at that I think the community preference tends to be at 1.1 million armor. That's, I think, where everybody likes to be. I think it's the most comfortable place where you maintain a lot of your damage, but at the same time you got a good amount of defense. And so 1.1 million armor is nice. And then we're actually a lot more regeneration. We actually have, I think we calculated 6.5% regeneration. So this is not calculating all the regen coming from memento. So this is about half of what you actually have. So keep that in mind. And then we also got 20% armor on kill. So we got 2 pieces of bellstone. So that's giving us 10% armor on kill right there. And then the death grips are giving us the other 10% armor on kill. So if you don't have the death grips, that's probably, so this build is very achievable. You guys should be able to get all of these pieces now as of today. You can buy this today. And that was a limiter for people before. That's why I wanted to highlight this build, because many people that love this build but didn't have these knee pads were running something different on the knees. So that's going to upgrade a lot. 1% armor regen is a big upgrade, but also it's going to help your turrets and drones stay up longer because you're getting 20% duration. Like 20% duration modifier is perfect. That's enough. And then you're getting skill, because you're getting skill efficiency on top of that thanks to the trophies. That's going to give you more duration, right? So the other thing is this mask. Okay, I wanted to, so I'm running the, I believe as of the 15th, I think as of the 15th, you're not able to get this mask anymore. I'm not 100% sure on that. Does anybody have confirmation on that? If you do, I'd appreciate that. So yeah, but so that's the rumor, but we'll see after the 15th on whether you can get this. So I'm going to show you another version. So you could also do this one. See the skill damage version here? So if you want 10% more skill damage instead of the armor regen, then do that. It's the same, you know. It's going to be a preference. Or you can go skill haste. You know, I got another skill damage with armor. So, you know, there's several different ways. Or you don't even have to do this. So if you don't have the chill out mask at all, then the other thing I would recommend, the alternative would be, see if I have it here, is going to be the, so you can do Fenris, you can go for more damage. You could also go, if you want to go crits, you can do that. Yeah, I don't have the piece I'm looking for, but I was gonna say a wyvern would be my preference. So if I wasn't going chill out, I would go with the wyvern, and I don't have it on this character. Oh, well, I guess, you know, here's a version of it, but you'd want the skill tier. But yeah, so if you don't have the chill out mask, or if you don't want to use a chill out mask, and if you don't want protection from elites, then go with wyvern here instead. I'm not sure I'd really recommend anything else. Yeah, probably just wyvern. So that's the only alternate I could think of. So that's gonna give you that's gonna give you 10% more skill damage, you know. And so that's the question, you know, do you want the armor regen or do you want the skill damage? And for me, I chose the armor regen. I want fast recovery so that I can take more damage, so that I can spend more time shooting out of cover. And so notice that's a big deal in the build, is how much time I'm playing out of cover, you know, with my head up and my gun out and me pulling the trigger. That's what I mean, right? And so that's what the armor regen is allowing me to do. As a matter of fact, it's allowed me to do a lot. Like, actually, while this happens, like, I was actually checking my cell phone messages right here instead of actually shooting. And that's because the build is so powerful. It still does, like, autonomously do a lot of work. And then I kicked in. I was like, oh, I better start playing. I forgot I'm recording this. But the protection from elites is what I really look forward to with the protection from elites is actually the to help me with the chungas mostly. That's mostly why I'm using it, to be able to to play in tighter and to push in closer, play close to the chungas, and still be able to take his stingers. So that's the biggest reason why I'm using protection from elites. But if you don't want protection from elites, then you definitely don't need it. You know, you just play it safer around the chungas, basically. So that's mostly why I use the protection from elites. It's a legendary thing. But your alternatives are, you know, you can go more crit chance and get a little bit more crit out of it. Or you can go skill duration or skill haste. You can put a little bit of armor on kill, a little bit more, get more, a little bit more armor on kill by running your armor on kill mods. Which is actually quite helpful. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of armor on kill mods, but because we have because we're running off of skills, skill turret and skill drone, then they're doing a lot of killing. So that little extra bit of armor on kill that your mods would be giving you would actually add up over time. You know, probably to a lot of extra armor. But then again, we have the regen too. So probably, I guess, just reconsidering my thought there, if I wasn't running protection from elites, I'd probably go with skill haste on this build, because that's just because I'm limited on my mods. But you know what you cannot do. But I don't know if you guys noticed, but I stopped using skill haste on my ballistic skills. So ballistic skills are the attack, turret, and drone, right? So I stopped using skill haste because the cooldowns are only 20 seconds, right? I mean, if we just look here, like the cooldown's only 20 seconds, 22.7 seconds. So that's not a long time. And then when you pick up all those trophies, it's gonna get short. We're gonna cut that by 30%, right? When we pick up those trophies. So plus we got a longer duration. So it's rare that I'm skillless. It does happen, but because I have decent damage coming out of the capacitor, I'm not too worried about it. But you know, if you notice, like in the gameplay, you know, with solo legendary, it's about skill management anyways. So you need to constantly, like, one of the most important things is to constantly be paying attention to your skills and where they are relatively with their cooldowns and duration. And so I try to pick up my turret and move it often so that it's never really on too long of a cooldown. And so if I pick it up and move it a lot, it keeps the cooldown to a minimum. So that's you'll see me doing that, is picking up the turret. Actually, I don't do it as, and this one I was kind of rushed in actually creating the recording because I didn't have a lot of time this morning, but I actually moved the turret a lot more than you see me doing here in this gameplay footage. I actually move it a lot more, probably 2 or 3 times as much as you're seeing in this gameplay footage, usually. And the reason why I do that again is because you can eliminate your cooldowns if you just pick up and move your turret. You can eliminate your cooldowns, and so on average, I probably land between 3 and 5 second cooldown, which is basically nothing. The time it takes to move it is basically the cooldown time. So, but yeah, really fun build. I'm having a blast using it again. So for those of you that don't use it, I hope you do. Hey, a quick reminder, guys, hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. But hit the like on this video right now. And be sure to subscribe if you like what I put down. Lots more where this came from, so you want to have your notifications turned on as well. And again, we got 2 classified builds I'm working on right now and hopes to put both of them out this week. Probably the next one would be on Thursday. And then I got the other one I'll probably do on Saturday. And I'm sort of guessing there. If I can get them in a little bit sooner, then I will. It just depends on how my farming goes today. They're both like these kind of where they're at. They're such good builds that I want every piece to be just like finely tuned for you. But yeah, and if you guys didn't know, for those of you that are new to the channel, Classified Builds is a secret build made just for Tux's Players Club. And you know who those dudes are. You know who's in the Players Club because of all those fancy little skulls. Like Anthony Novmar, Xander, Ultra Mega Man, Digital Dogs, Gizoo. What's up, Gizoo? How are you, my man? Yeah, and so these are all homies from the Players Club. And so we invite you to join, and all you have to do is hit the join button that's just below this video. And if you're not on the computer, then you have to go to my channel to hit the join button. Otherwise, I just dropped the join button also in the link here. I'm sorry, in the chat feed. I dropped a link to join in the chat feed. So yeah, I appreciate you guys that have joined already. And for those of you that are thinking about it, you are officially invited. I'm making it easy. Oh, I appreciate you, Steven. Thanks, man. Early shout out to Steven. Simon Taylor, no, the mask isn't fixed yet. I don't know when they're gonna fix it. I mean, are they waiting for the next update? You know, I don't know. The next major update, is that what you're asking there, Richard? Richard asks, how much will the new update affect builds? And I'm guessing he's talking about the major update. I think it's going to affect it a lot, man. I mean, from what we know so far, you know, because specializations right now are kind of like, for example, just going into specializations, they're sterile, right? And so it's sort of like, oh, which specialization I'm going to choose, but you know, they don't make a world of difference, right? You got them all filled out, and it's just like, but now that in the future, since we're going to have a decision tree with our specializations, that's going to create more build diversity. So we're going to have, just imagine like a section, Richard, where in my build video, where we'll be having longer discussions on why I chose this and that on my specialization and why I recommend you do that too, right? We're going to be doing that. Where now it's, I'm just going like, use the technician because you're going to get more, you know, you're going to get that skill tier, and it's just, that's the end of it, you know? And we all use technician for basically the same reasons. But with the decision tree involved in the skill perks that they're going to add to your build, it's going to be also a configuration. Be like, use this configuration because that will make you better out of cover, or it'll make you because you can heal faster because you get this med kit. Also to make your med kits more interesting to use, I think. So I think it's going to add a lot. I mean, things like pieces like Bellstone's perfectly efficient, you know, that chest piece. That can become more interesting. It can become more of an OP or more relied upon chest piece in our builds because, you know, our armor kits are now more interesting for us thanks to the new adjustments that are coming in. But also besides that, I guess, Richard, you know, I mean, think you can run. This will be a big deal for me. I mean, I'd be able to run technician with the Mender Seeker, right? That would be a big deal, you know, because I can have the Fixer drone now and the Mender Seeker, and then no, gosh, no, forget that. Let me put it. I mean, and then you have the skill tier buffing those. No, even more important, like I look forward to this. I can run Gunner with the Mender Seeker and the Fixer. Think about defensively what that's doing for you. I'm getting 10% armor on kill, plus 30,000 from or 26,000 from the Mender Seeker, plus 25,000 from the Fixer drone. So that's a lot of heals. Then you throw in the memento backpack on top of that, right? That's giving you a skill tier to push those up even more, right? And so, I mean, those are the combinations that just that simple change that they're doing. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, what Richard is helped trigger in this conversation is that they're going to be making it so that they're going to unmarry basically the specializations with their special skills. So for example, we're in the technician, right? And so right now you can only use the Artificer Hive if you have technician equipped. In the future, that's not the case. Once you unlock the Artificer Hive, you can use it with whatever specialization. So it's not married to technician. Same thing with Gunner. So Gunner this is huge, right? The Banshee, you can only use the Banshee with Gunner. But imagine using the Banshee with technician, right? Getting the extra skill tier paired up with the Banshee, that's gonna be nice. Or imagine using the Banshee with survivalist. Where does it say? Group members get 10% bonus damage to targets with status effects, right? So imagine that. But also the Mender Seeker, you can now use the Mender Seeker with technician for a healer, right? Or you can use it for with Gunner, like I mentioned earlier. the shield, right? The striker shield. You're now going to be able to use that with technician, which I think is a big deal. So you can actually, I don't know if you can do that now that I think about it. That'll be an interesting one. I don't know the answer there. Actually, what do you guys think? Will we be able to pair up the striker shield with the artificer because they're both special skills? I think so. I think so. You see what I'm saying? Because this is a special skill and this is a special skill. There's specialization skills, right? So can we have two specialization skills together, like the artificer and the striker? I think so. I think so now that I think about it. So yeah, imagine being able to run the artificer with the striker to refresh the skill health for your striker shield, right? Which we haven't been able to do in the past. And this is the one that gives you that extra damage bonus per enemy standing in front of you. So that's a big deal, right? To be able to make it also healthier is because it brings all the damage that you need. So you can now be able to, another big one is going to be, you can now be able to run the artillery turret with technician, and I think that's a big deal. So the artillery turret has kind of been one of those ones where it's like, oh, I can only run it with the demolitionist, and then I lose the skill tier, and then so I'm a little bit squishier because I can't roll extra armor or something like that. So it gives you more options there. So I think it's a, yeah, I don't know. So that alone, if they did nothing else, then if they did nothing else, brother, I think it just gave us the new specializations. We got a bunch of new builds off that alone. So yeah, I think it's a big deal. And that's just the tip of the spear, no pun intended. They got a lot of other changes that they're going to bring us that they've yet to reveal. We should have another, we're at the 11th of the month. I'm surprised we haven't had one, but we should have another annex, intelligence annex, or whatever you call it, coming up here, right? So maybe next Tuesday. Questions. Wick the Swede. What build to farm DZ resources? Good question, Wick the Swede. So if you're just going to be farming DZ resources and you're not going to be getting into looking to pick a fight, then I would go lots of armor regen. Like go tanky, right? So the good news about and deconstruct things as fast as you can. The good news about resources, DZ resources, is that, you know, there's a lot of like the experienced DZ players. They don't need them. They're probably maxed out on DZ. You can max out your DZ resources, right? You can actually get full in both your mailbox and your actual resource pool. So once you max out your resources, you don't pick any more up. You can't. And so people that play in a DZ a lot, they're already maxed. It's not that hard to max. It's actually really easy to max. So they're maxed. And so they might steal your gear, but they're most likely not going to steal your DZ resources. If they did, they're just doing it to be a dick, literally. So they'll kill you, take your resources, and then deconstruct them. And so, or, you know, just take them and extract them just to be a dick, even though they don't need them. So that's kind of a dick move. But I don't think a lot of people are like that. I think a lot of experienced DZ guys, the guys that are in there a lot, if you have DZ resources, they just leave them where they lie. So if you have gear, they might jack that. So if you're not in for a fight and you just want to farm DZ resources, then I would look for like a really high armor regen build, kind of a tanky build, one that's really hard for you to go down with. So that way, if you do get jumped or attacked as you're trying to extract, then all you need to do is kind of run in circles to just survive. Just try to survive until your helicopter goes away, right? And try to keep them from how do you say, cutting your rope. But you know, kind of, so you can do like a high armor like 3P, you know, high armor regen. You don't want to do anything that relies on kill, so don't do any armor on kill or anything like that. You know, so like a Ridger's Pride chest piece, Bellstone, one-piece Bellstone, two-piece Golan. I'd go tanky. I'd probably go like 1.5 million armor. I mean, you can go more than that, but 1.5 million armor is probably gonna cut it. And then that way you can bring in a little bit of offense, because you want some offense. I mean, if you can get the kill, you want to take it. if you're having to face off with the guy. But otherwise, if you see dudes coming and you don't want to lose your resources, you just want to extract, then run away. And armor regen will help you stay on your feet as you run away. So. Julian Hacker asks, what's the best way to get the DZ currency to buy knee pads? Yeah, that's a good question, Julian. That's sort of what we were talking about, is getting the sort of the right build. But you're gonna have to go into the DZ to get those resources, of course. And the way you do it is you basically just go to the landmarks. Landmarks are like mini control points, basically, and just clear them out. And when you clear them out, you know, enemies will drop contaminated gear. And so any gear that you get, you want to deconstruct it in your bag, okay? And so basically what you want to try to do is every time you deconstruct something, you get DZ resources. And so what you want to do is fill your bag with DZ resources and then extract it. And so just keep doing that over and over again. And then you'll get a lot. And so, yeah. And you might get some really good DZ gear along the way while you're in there. But there's also little caches, little cache boxes. They're small. They look more like resource boxes, kind of like how the electronics come. But you can also open those. They give you 1 DZ credit every time you open those. But trying to farm those would take you forever. The average item, you know, is going to cost you between 130 and 150 DZ credits. So to find 130 of those little boxes would take you, man, I don't know, days. But if you're looking for just 150 DZ credits, you could probably get that in a couple hours in the DZ. Yeah, so just go up to landmarks, kill everybody you come across, NPC wise, and then deconstruct anything that they drop to give you DZ credits, and then go and extract it at an extraction zone, which there's 2 in every DZ. Maybe 3 in some of them. Is there a third one? I can't remember. Yes, Sparta says, I live in the DZ, we don't spend them. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, so like the guys that spend a lot of time in the DZ, they have more DZ resources than they can use, you know. So basically what I do is I go into DZ and I fill up at all my DZ resources. And so you can fill up in 2 places. So one in your resources, like your inventory, and then the other place is in your mailbox, basically, which is in your cache. And so that's where your overflow of DZ resources goes. It goes in your cache, in your stash is what I mean, not your cache, in your stash. So. Yeah, Richard Pigg's got another question about raid builds, and if I have any advice, I have the perfect advice for you. Watch this video. I created actually this video for the community and my clans for the newer players, but it's basically some get started raid builds for you. So dropping that link right now. New player raid builds. It's kind of like the standard builds that you need in order to get into a raid, basically. So when you join a raid, people are going to ask you, well, they're going to take a look at your raid, especially if you've never, your build, especially if you've never done one before, a raid before, they're going to critique your build. And these builds will get you by those critiques. They're sort of unarguable. They're not super exciting or creative, but when you're new to the raid, you know, the most important things about raids is your situational awareness and being able to pick up on things quickly. That's the most important thing with raids, not so much your builds. But if you're a newer player, then your watch levels are down, which means you don't have the crit, you don't have the weapon damage, the armor, the handling, the hazard protection everybody else does. You're kind of low there. And so at the very least, if you bring these builds to the table, then they can at least know that you're going to be running some of the strongest damage output builds in the game. So they can at least eliminate that variable from the equation, and whether you guys are gonna clear smoothly. So yeah, so they're DPS builds, and they're going to basically be assigning you to Overwatch positions for the most part, which I also think is kind of interesting. I was thinking about it the other day, you know, with my clan. I was like, hey, you know what's funny is that, you know, like on Razorback, the veteran players, the players with a lot of experience, end up doing the technicals there, which is basically, let me shoot an arrow at the vent on Razorback, and then the other guy hawks a grenade inside the vent, and then you shoot a couple of weak points and go stand in a circle. That's easier than Overwatch. You know what I mean? I feel like like when you're doing Dark Hours, like the experienced players should be doing Overwatch, and there only needs to be one experienced player on Razorback, the one that's basically calling out the shots, right? And maybe the guy that is busting the drones, the guy that's got the disruption package. But I always thought that was interesting. Like, it's technically harder to do the Overwatch than it is to stand in a circle and shoot weak points when nobody's shooting at you. But anyways, Maestro Major 7, welcome, man. True Bandito level. All right, welcome to the club. Maestro, where you out of, man? What part of the world are you in? Let us know. Also, you know, take advantage as a True Bandito member level of the members only playlist. It's right on my YouTube homepage. I actually drop another link here. Since we have so many of you guys in the chat, the links get pushed up quite quickly. Yeah, I appreciate you supporting me, man. All of you guys. Thanks for showing up, too. You know, just coming to these live streams is supporting the community. And right now, guys, we need to stick together, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know when the new drop dates for content are going to be. So we need to unmarry ourselves from the developers on whether, on keeping this game fun and interesting for us. So, yeah, it's up to us. You know what I mean? And if you love this game, if you really have it in for this game like I do, then, you know, you don't want to find yourself bored. Let's just put it that way. And I'm not at all. Always, and coming up with new builds and using new builds and playing with builds, like that part of the game goes a long ways. But if you don't believe in build diversity, or if you know, have decided that, you know, if you're one of those folks that have decided, like, I'm just going to run the meta build and that's the only build that's makes sense for me, then yeah, I can see how this game gets quite boring, and then how you can get real frustrated at the developers because they're not dropping, you know, new content for you, like, you know, new missions and new raids and new whatever, global events or whatever. But if you get into building, if you get into build diversity and trying out new builds like this one that we're working with right now, I mean, you're gonna have a blast. I have a blast with these builds, you know. And in my opinion, it's the difference between this and the strongest skill, I mean, what you would call the meta skill build, if you will, you know, is 40% skill damage. That's the difference between this and that, you know. And I'm telling you, it makes zero difference. You know, I'd rather have 20% armor on kill, 6.5% armor regen, you know what I mean? And so on top, instead of that 40% skill damage, you know, it allows me to move, play in cover, and plus picking up those trophies. If you go with one of those standard all yellow skill builds, you know, with you know, 3 pieces of Empress and 1 piece of Wyvern, you're not gonna be able to use your short-term buff. So in my opinion, it's actually weaker on the skill damage side, because the short-term buffs, just picking up one little trophy, is giving me 30% skill damage bonus to both my skills. So that's 60% more skill damage output when I'm combining my skills off a single trophy. And for many times, I'm picking up multiple trophies. So that's the argument there. Think about it logically. this build is stronger than your standard all yellow skill build with Wyvern and 3-piece Empress, because I can pick up the trophies. Why do you use Empress? Not for this 10% skill health it gives you, for the 10% skill damage and the 10% skill efficiency. That's why. But when I pick up one of these trophies, it's giving me 30% skill efficiency right off the bat. Are you understand what I'm saying there? So let's see, do I have an Empress? I think I do right here. Okay. So look at that. So when you, the Empress, like the argument is like the standard strong skill build, that if you wanted to be non-hybrid, is going to be 3 pieces of Empress, right? And so you can have 10% skill health, 10% skill damage, and skill efficiency from that. And then instead, you're not going to have crits down there. Instead, you're going to have skill haste and skill damage. But with these builds, I'm saying skill haste is a waste. You don't need skill haste, right? Because this cooldown's only 22 seconds. That's not a long time. It's not. And so if you can't survive for 22 seconds, then that's why you need to change your builds. So anyways, you're gonna run 3 of those, and then you're gonna run a Wyvern, which is gonna give you 10% skill damage. So that's giving you 30% skill damage right there. You see where my math is coming from? So let me go back to this piece here. So you're gonna get 10% skill damage and then 10% skill efficiency, right? Skill efficiency gives you 10% skill damage. So there's 20% skill damage. And then Wyvern is gonna give you that 3rd skill damage drop. So for a total of 30% skill damage. So the difference between this build and the strongest or non-hybrid skill build is 30% skill damage. That's what it is. So, and then if you didn't run a memento, you'd be running something like combined arms. But let me ask you the question. What is stronger, 25% skill damage or 30% skill efficiency? And the answer is skill efficiency, right? Because skill efficiency includes skill damage, skill duration, skill haste, skill repair, everything, whatever I forgot. It's all in there. So yeah, combined arms is nice because it's up front. So I'm not saying it's weak. It's just that 30% skill efficiency means more than 25% skill damage. Plus I'm getting that skill efficiency whether I shoot or not. It doesn't time out. On top of that, I pick up a trophy, I get another 30% skill efficiency. So the memento is stronger than combined arms. But you are gonna get an additional skill damage, 10% skill damage out of your backpack because you free up a slot. You get an attribute slot to be able to do that. So, but this is giving me a skill tier, weapon damage core, and an armor core, which is overall stronger than whatever else you could put there in first skill build. So, you see what I'm saying? So if you didn't run that, then you'd probably end up running the waveform holster and putting something like Empress on your backpack, right? So anyways, or you could use the force multiplier, which has got a perfect combined arms for 30% skill damage. Still, the memento is still stronger than that because 30% skill efficiency is more than 30% skill damage because you're getting everything else with it. So anyways, my point is that there's only a little bit of loss of skill damage here, but you're making up all of that from the memento short-term buffs because you're actually picking them up and you're actually shooting and using your skills while you pick them up. So it's like putting all of your skills on a mini little overcharge every time you pick up one of those trophies. So that's why this build, in my opinion, is flat out stronger than your all yellow, true and yellow through and through skill builds. Way better, way better. You're getting all of what that build offers you and more. So just remember, the only thing that those builds are offering you, really, that this build does not have re-rolled into it is skill haste. And you can go that route. Take off the protection from elites and put on skill haste instead. Drop some of the armor regen and put on skill haste instead if you want to. But I don't want to, and the reason is because I'm gonna have 60% skill efficiency at least, because I'm always picking up a trophy. So, but let's just say 30% skill efficiency. So that's 30% skill haste. Right there, 30% skill haste. I don't need any more than that. So we're not gonna eliminate our cooldowns at all. We're not gonna eliminate them. We're gonna make them really short though. So anyways, this build is, if, in my opinion, and I'd love to hear your guys, is better than an all yellow true and true skill damage build. It's giving you all of the damage that that build has and more skill efficiency out of it. This one's giving you more skill efficiency and all of the armor regen and skill repair and whatever. So look at my armor regen right here. Now remember, I'm missing 3% armor regen because I don't have my my stacks yet, my memento stacks. But look at that, and then boom, and then you get one kill, and it like basically puts your armor regen on overcharge every time you get that kill. But that's what's nice. It allows me to play aggressively and start kind of moving around a little bit more because I know that I'm going to recover. And then so as I start to spread out some of these trophies, after I get my first few kills, then that allows me again to play even more aggressive because I know I only have to survive to that next trophy. So I only need to survive 15 feet. As soon as I grab that trophy, I'm gonna get bonus armor, and then that's gonna crank up my armor regen, and then I'm gonna get it's gonna crank out my damage, so I'm gonna get a kill, and I'm gonna get 20% armor back as soon as I get that kill. And my skills are always working, and so they're out there killing things and giving me 20% armor on kill too. So shake and bake, baby. Woo! Shake and bake. Yeah. 4-piece foundry, Xander. Yeah, I like running 4-piece foundry builds. I'm actually working on one for you guys right now. I'm kind of playing with it. I'm trying to figure out, what's the ultimate way that I'm gonna go with it. So I'm still like kind of going, oh, it's crazy because it's just so good that I find myself like running it one way, and then I'm like, oh, it feels perfect. And then I was like, oh, now I'm running it this way, and I was like, well, maybe that's better. And then I go back to the other way, and I was like, well, maybe this one's better. And so I'm going back and forth. And so in order to kind of ultimately figure out is I got to play a lot of content and be like, oh, which one's better? But it's a different foundry concept than what you've seen before. You know me, how I do it. I like to do off meta, get out there. But this one's being in basically, the idea is to go high armor regen without having to armor. And so by doing that and, pairing it up with the memento, the big advantage to that is the huge amount of weapon damage bonus that you get when you pick up a trophy. You get that 30% weapon damage bonus just by grabbing one trophy. And so that's the advantage of going all red on your builds. But I myself like balanced builds, so I like having the armor regen or the armor on kill and stuff like that. So that allows you to actually play more aggressive and have more fun in the game. And so Foundry can bring all that. And what's cool about Foundry is that makeshift repairs doesn't actually really rely on how much armor you have. I mean, it does a little bit because it means you can take more damage, which means your regen will be a little bit stronger as it's coming in that first 15-20 seconds. But ultimately it's repair is calculated based off of how much damage you took. So you're gonna take the same amount of damage on like if you had 1,000,000 armor, whether you had armor like if you had all red build with 1,000,000 armor, then you're gonna take the same amount of damage no matter what, right? It's the enemy that's dishing the damage. It's not how much armor you have that dictates how much damage the enemy's dishing. Blah, 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 blah. That was a tongue twister. So, for example, Chungas hit harder than non-elite grunts, right? The common sense. And so that's going to be static. That's going to be a fact. No matter how much armor I'm running, that Chunga is going to hit me. He's going to crit on me, basically, the same, no matter what, right? And so more armor is going to do is allow me to take more of his bullets. The sad truth in this game is that, like, even if I had a whole, an extra 1,000,000 armor, I'm only going to be able to take maybe 3 or 4 more bullets. Because these guys are hitting in the millions. Have you guys noticed that? They're hitting in the millions. So like 1,000,000 armor in legendary means nothing. I mean, it's going to go fast. So it's not the armor that matters. It's how fast you can get it back. And that's where armor on kill is, why armor on kill is so important and armor regen is so important. But on legendary, you want a nice healthy mix of both, as long as you have the power, okay? But I think armor regen is actually more important in legendary because the enemies are so aggressive and that you're constantly taking so much damage that the armor regen is good. You can need something more passive that doesn't require a kill. So that way you're healing when you're also hiding in cover and whatever. But I mean, I do like a high, if you do go on armor on kill, then I like it to be really high armor on kill. Which reminds me, did you guys see, if for you guys that are in the Players Club, true Bandido member levels and higher, you should check out that one skill. It's a hybrid skill build with 45% armor on kill. That one's interesting, really interesting. I actually really like that one. So again, none of these builds would exist without Slaughter. So Game Over, the perfect blend. So Game Over is a 4-piece foundry that's hacked into a skill build. The perfect blend is the 4-piece striker that's hacked into a skill build. None of those would exist without Slaughter. Slaughter inspired all those builds. And you guys did too, because you loved Slaughter so much that it inspired me to make those builds. I loved it so much, and I was like, wow, can we make a better one? And so, yeah, so thanks to the build and your guys' energy towards it, you know, we created a bunch more, so. I'm going through my questions here. I think I saw one just a second ago. Sparta question has, how do you get 8% armor regen on a DPS build? Yeah, that's the 8% armor regen DPS build. We call it 8% armor. We call it 8% regen Rockstar that I just published. Well, first of all, you need the memento. That's going to be a big chunk of it. That's going to be 3% of it. And then what's really unique about that build, Sparta, is that it actually has 6 red weapon damage cores. That's what's unique about it. 8% armor regen on 6% red weapon damage cores. So that's what's really unique about it. So you basically need to leverage all the armor regen pieces in the game, which are normally defensive pieces. So they normally have armor cores on them. And so you need to find pieces that are perfect with armor regen and crit already on them, and then convert them over to weapon damage cores. And so you need to basically align everything that way. And then that's how you're gonna accumulate your total of 8% armor regen. But the memento is 3% of that. So which means the rest, the other 5% is coming through brand attributes and secondary attributes. And then the crazy part is, I think we got, what is it, 220% armor regen? I mean, 220% crit damage on it. And then with crazy amounts of weapon damage bonuses. But the big deal, like I was just explaining, you want all those red weapon damage cores on your build, because every time you pick up that memento trophy, you're getting 30% weapon damage bonuses. And so that's what makes that build really, really powerful. Southside Lifestyle says, help me, I've never been able to finish a raid. You'll get there, man. You don't have to be part of our clans in order to raid with us, but to get connected with those guys, and when they're doing raids, you need to be on our Discord. That's the best place to convene. It's Liam has a question about coming up with a merciless build. 3 striker, 1 grouper, 1 Cheska, and Fox's prayer with brace and composure. Braced and composure. A good ruthless merciless build. I have pretty much no recoil from it. Composure, yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. I struggle, but you know, I'm a little biased. It's Liam because I'm just not a big fan of the merciless, and it's not that I don't try to be, because I feel like every weapon deserves its own build. You know what I mean? But the reason why I struggle with the merciless is that I feel like when you get all those stacks, you should be able to kill at least an elite, and they don't. You know, so I'll put on glass cannon and 6 red weapon damage cores, and you know, and stack the hell out of those things on an elite, and then they all blow up, and he's still standing. It's like, really? Fox's prayers, you know, out of cover, multiplicative damage targets out of cover, and everything. You know, vigilance, and it's just like, wow, and he's still standing. I was like, okay. So that's just kind of like, that's why I don't like it. It's just like, it's a lot of work, and also the handling on it kind of sounds like you're shooting out of a tin can, tink, 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 you know, like a BB gun. And so it just doesn't feel powerful, and then it actually it can't take down an elite, and so that's sort of what's discouraging me from it. And then you have to deal with the weapon handling on top of that. But I mean, but to what you're saying, with what you're proposing, then yes, that would be one of the better builds to go with, because you do have to deal with the handling. The catch is though, to go with 3-piece striker and to go with braced, you're losing a lot of damage. So although you're landing more shots, that's a good thing, but you're also losing so much damage. You might want to rethink whether you run both of those. So just because the weapon is on the weaker side as it is. So I would, you know, consider either not using the striker, which is probably the best way to go, because you're going to gain some slots back, right? You're going to gain some damage slots that could be damage slots back. And then you could also still roll weapon handling as secondary attributes. So like if you put on Grupo and the Cheska and stuff like that on top of it, instead of using the 3-piece striker, then, you know, you'll get extra slots back with the striker, because gear sets, you lose attribute slots, right? But you can still get the handling in there. You can still get 8% weapon handling on 3 build pieces instead. So you can still get 24% weapon handling, which is more than what striker's giving you, right? Because striker's only giving you 15%. So you'd actually get more weapon handling without using striker, assuming you're not rolling weapon handling on striker also. And then still get more damage by rolling crits and crit chance or whatever else. So, and then braced should be enough, you know, more than enough. I think 45% weapon handling is enough to manage most weapons. Not that I haven't done more, because I have. I've done my 185% weapon accuracy build. I don't know if you've seen that one using the rail splitter. But of course, striker, 3-piece striker is giving you those RPMs, so I get the appeal there. But I'm not so sure you need it with a semi-auto rifle where you're just, you know, spanning the trigger anyways. So I mean, it helps a little bit, but it's not a big help. Not like it would be with an automatic. So I don't know. Or the other way is keep the 3-piece striker and then put on a stronger chest talent. That'd be the other way to go. Like, I mean, you could go obliterate, a little slow for obliterate, but glass cannon would really help. But if you're a newer player, you might not want to tap into glass cannon quite yet, but that's up to you. But otherwise, it is a good build. So I'm not saying it's not. What you have there is it makes a lot of sense. But I think what you're going to be lacking is a little bit of damage. So that's the part you want to mitigate there. But good build, good recommendation, solid. Makes a lot of sense what you're doing. Maestro Major in Mississippi. All right, cool, man. We got a lot of you Southern boys in the house today. I caught a few people from Texas earlier too. I saw that. Tony Fikes, what's up? What's up, Hubbleton? Welcome, man. So again, so for those of you that are joining the stream late, then what we were the big focus of the day are these knee pads. These Murakami knee pads are for sale right now on DZ West, the DZ vendor West. So you're gonna need DZ credits to buy these, and I'm recommending you make it look just like this, basically. But try to optimize it instead of re-rolling the skill damage. just try to optimize the skill damage when you buy yours. But yeah, and so that's inspiring this build here that we're working on, because I think they make these knee pads shine, and these knee pads help the build shine too. So this build's getting 3% armor regen from the backpack, 1% armor regen from the Murakami knee pads, another 1% armor regen from Bellstone. So that's 5% armor regen. And then we're getting more armor regen from the secondary attributes. So there's 0.5% there, another 0.5% there. So that's 1%. So we're now at 6%, and then another 0.5% there. So 6.5% armor regen when you do the math at the end. So this is a really strong armor regen build actually, and it doesn't look like it, right? It doesn't look like it. And then we're also getting 20% armor on kill. So the 511 pieces are bringing us 10% armor on kill. We got lots of skill damage here from that as well. And then Bellstone, 2 pieces Bellstone is giving us another 10% armor on kill. So we got that 20% armor on kill without losing any skill damage. We're getting a ton of skill damage. So the difference between skill damage in this build and this an all yellow straight up skill build is about 30% skill damage. But the reality is this one's actually stronger because we're picking up the short-term buffs from the memento, which is giving us another 30% skill efficiency, which is also 30% skill damage. And then the long-term buffs are giving us another 30% skill damage. So this is overall stronger. But we're also getting protection from elites on top of that, which is super handy against those chungas. It allows you to hang out of cover longer, break their chains, do stuff like that. So a lot of fun. So if you just entered the stream, be sure you head over to DZ West and pick up those knee pads. Also in the description area of this live stream, I did put a link to the original Slaughter build video. You do want to watch that one. A lot more insight on how the build works and how fast you can clear content with it is demonstrated. And it's also a lot of fun. Good soundtrack going to it. Anubis! What's going on, man? Midday live stream. Yup. I try to get, trying to vary my hours for you guys, just so you know, because I got a lot of people in the European time zones and Australian time zones. And so, you know, so I try to do some live streams in the morning. So I started this one in the morning, and then, and I do some in the afternoons, and then also in the evening throughout the week. So I try to vary up the hours so that I can get a little bit of everybody around the world. Love this international community we got going on. Love it. Guyver Z says, thanks Tux for the updated Slaughter and Invisishield builds. They are a beast. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, man. I should mention that. Yeah, so this build variation, it is different from the original Slaughter only because of this mask. So I decided to go chill out so I can run one more protection from elites. So the original Slaughter has 39% protection from elites, and this one has 51% protection from elites. Doing this, I'm losing 10% skill damage. So I traded 10% skill damage for more protection from elites. That's the change. So it is it's up to you which way you want to go, but I felt like we're doing fine on the damage department, so I decided for more protection from elites. But you could also go more haste, more duration. All of those are good options. It's up to you. Slaughter is very flexible that way, and that's because the build is so imbalanced. So yeah, so I will be showing the build multiple times, so to make sure you guys get a glimpse of it. But again, the original build video is in the link, is in the description area of this video. So definitely check that out. You need to watch that video after you're done with this anyways. Damn it. Damn it! If I say things with the damn it, I feel like you guys hear me better. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I mean. Make sure to drop also a way to join the Players Club link in the description area also. Antal, how are you, man? It's been a few days since I've seen you. I'm glad you caught this stream. Oh, Guyver, you're also reminding me that about the Invisishield builds. Yeah, so guys, if you love Invisishield, which you should, because Invisishield is dope, I put out that stream that I did just the other day. What did we end up calling that one? The armor regen stream. That was actually an Invisishield concept stream, basically, because it was a layered system. I basically showed you how to use armor regen more effectively. And so let me grab a link here. I'm gonna put that, drop this link, but it was the last live stream that I did. So, but I'm gonna title this Invisishield builds / armor regen. Check that out. The armor Invisishield builds are basically, it's one of my core concepts. It's sort of like a signature build platform that I created really early on, actually, and that's because I realized that you know, having a layered system of protection is what's going to keep you out of cover without a shield. And so if you guys notice, I rarely use shields in this game, hardly ever, and that's because I've realized that that your agility and speed are so important to your survivability that holding up a shield actually takes away from your survivability. Believe it or not, it does. It does. And so it's also attracts bullets. It pulls bullets into you, right? It makes you a bullet magnet. And so so I feel like it weakens you a lot more. It makes you a less flexible of a player, right? So when your shield goes down, you're just like really vulnerable. And then if you're building in tankiness behind all your shield, you're not utilizing it. So then you got a lot of waste on your build, right? Where, you know, because you're running armor regen and armor on kill, but you have a shield, so when your shield is up, none of that stuff is working for you, right? And so, but Invisishield protects you at a 360 degree, where a hard shield protects you only in the front. So anyways, I live to play without a shield. That's basically the first requirement of most builds that I create. Is first requirement, no shield. So that I have to create these builds with that in mind, right? So yeah, anyways, so that link that I just dropped you, if the topic is armor regen, you're doing it wrong. Let me help you out. Let me fix that for you. But a lot of that is I'm demonstrating these Invisishield variations on that really layer systems of damage and protection to help you stay out of cover longer. Check that out. We got some new players in the house. Who's joining us? Magoma, welcome to the Players Club. Joining a tuxational level. All right. Welcome, man. Let us know where you're from. Oh, you're out of Germany, it looks like. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got a lot of players that are from Germany. Appreciate you guys checking out my vids, and this is why I think I'm probably catching you in your time zone, which is giving you an opportunity to join us on the live level. So thank you, Magoma, if I'm saying your name right, or is it Mag0MA? Could be that too. But I'm just making up names. But welcome to Players Club, man. Thank you for supporting us in the community. Good times, man. We're having a good time, and so I hope you're able to join us on Discord as well. Latina's dropping Discord links. You guys should be taking advantage of those. And it looks like Bradley Barthas has joined us as well on the Players Club. Welcome, Bradley. Welcome to True Bandito member level. So for you guys that just joined the Players Club, to both of you, I'm gonna drop a link here just to make sure you guys have easy access to this stuff. But I have playlists just for the Players Club members on my YouTube homepage channel. So I'm dropping links to that. Also, there's a link to my Discord. There is a Players Club members only list on area on my Discord for you guys to check out there too. So hope you guys are all having a good week. Got a lot going on this week, man. I got some really cool builds coming out. And I am just trying to make them perfect. They're ready to go, really. I could give them out today, but there's like one or two pieces that I just want to be perfect. I'm just kind of picky about them, and that's because the builds are so good, you know. And so that's why it's just like, oh, they deserve that extra amount of farming. You know, so that's basically what I'm doing right now. Jim Kelly has a question for us, and he says, it seems that the negotiators build clears district union arena faster. It does. Well, I mean, I would say that on average, Jim Kelly, Negotiator's Dilemma is the fastest build in the game, probably, to clear content. Number one is that it's one of the fewest builds that actually supports crits, right? Where a lot of builds don't. So, you know, it comes with crit chance and crit damage on it, and then you get more crit damage on every kill. And then you're able to kill 3 enemies at the same time, or even 5, if you're that good, right? And so, but what's really helpful about it is that there are these enemies like drone operators and technicians, but notice these guys are always moving around, right? They're always moving, and when they move, that means you're missing shots or you're not able to shoot them, but you're missing shots and stuff like that, right? Because they're running in cover, they're coming out of cover, they're coming in view, they're running out of view. Now, if you could just tag them with a crit, then you don't have to chase them down like I'm doing here, right? Like I'm chasing these guys. I'm also getting into position, but I'm chasing them down, right? Hunting them. And so you don't have to do that with negotiators. Negotiators, the strategy is completely different. It is basically hold your ground and clear the entire battlefield from a single spy. Basically, that's the best strategy with negotiators. You don't need to move. And so that means because you don't need to move, you also don't need a lot of defense. So you can spec everything into offense. You just need to find really good cover. But you are squishy. You just need to find good cover. So, you know, so it's just a different build. But yeah, it is a lot faster. And that's sort of the, if you guys saw my build video from this morning, the Negotiators build, I think that's where you're coming from, Jim. Is that right? Jim Kelly? Did you see the Negotiators hybrid skill damage build I put out this morning? It is faster. And that was the point of it. Is that I was able to clear this beginning part in basically 2 minutes. The whole first wave in 2 minutes. And so first checkpoint. And so that's pretty fast. And again, it's not a race. I don't give a damn. What's the difference between 2 minutes and 3 minutes? Nothing. Like who cares, right? And so, but the point is that it's efficient. That's the point of the build, you know. But it's really popular for solo legendary, Jim. And so most solo, like if you watch a lot of solo legendary guys, you'll see that Negotiator's Dilemma is a build that many of them use. So, and for the same reason, you know, just put on an assault rifle and hold your ground in the same spot. So yeah, it is. And so, I mean, basically it makes anything easier. I just want to say that, like, Negotiators makes everything easy. So if you're a solo, like if I was gonna solo legendary for the very first time, then I'd probably pull out, and I did actually. My very first solo legendary clear was using Negotiator's Dilemma. So it was the first build that I used. So, and then the hybrid skill builds. I think this hybrid skill damage builds just give you a lot more diversity, because with the Negotiators builds, you only have one way of playing it. So it is a little bit more boring with Negotiators. With Negotiators, it's all about your cover. It literally is all about your cover. The whole completing legendary with a Negotiators build is about picking your cover and standing there. And so all you have to learn is what cover to pick, and the rest is just you need to know how to pull a trigger. That's how Negotiators works. So if you know how to pull a trigger, then you can solo legendary. The only nuance to that is you have to know where your cover is. So yeah, so Negotiators. So basically, Negotiators puts legendary on easy mode. It really does. And so I think if you struggle with Negotiators, it's usually probably your cover. The cover that you're choosing is probably not ideal for Negotiators. You need to always be shooting with Negotiators. Always be shooting. So if you're not always shooting with Negotiators, then you're probably not in the best cover spot. So, and so I made it into a hybrid skill build to show, you know, just that it even works in that scenario. But the actuality is, truth be told, I do like the Slaughter build better than the Negotiator one you saw this morning. So it's a great build. I'm just saying, personal preference, I do like Slaughter better. It's more well-rounded. But good question, really good question, actually. But what you guys love is definitely between the two is up for the debate. Of this, which reminds me, I do have an area on my YouTube channel, my homepage, dedicated just to hybrid skill builds. So if you want all the best hybrid skill builds, so if you try these and you're like, wow, these are for me, I really love these, and I think you will say that, because I think once you try like a build like Slaughter, it's gonna blow your mind, and you'll be like, I want more of these, you know. And so I created variations of these, like some that I have more armor regen, some that I have more armor on kill, some that give you more weapon damage, some that do a better job of balancing damage between. Doing a better job of balancing your damage and armor regen, and then some that give you, you know, there's just a bunch of different versions of basically Slaughter, but Slaughter sets the mark. So I feel like that every hybrid skill build I created after Slaughter was basically a variation of Slaughter itself. You know, it's a version of Slaughter. And so that's why this skill build, hybrid build, is the quintessential hybrid skill build, basically. It's the one that out of all the hybrid skill builds that I've created, this is the one that you have to try, because then the rest are gonna make sense for you. Oh, now I understand why he created Game Over. You know, now I understand why he created a perfect blend. You know, because the whole thing is about balance, trying to get your power in balance with your survivability, trying to bring those two things in balance. And then you're trying to balance some other things too, like trying to balance your primary weapon with your skill damage. So that's hard to balance, right? You usually have one or the other. You're usually gonna have your skills are gonna be way stronger than your assault rifle, or your assault rifle is gonna be way stronger than your skills. But if you can get those to be balanced, then you're gonna basically have a killer build that you're gonna have a lot of fun with. But then what about defense? So then you got to bring defense. And so that's why, you know, you have three prongs that you're trying to bring into balance. And if you can do that, if you can find a way to get all three of those in balance, then you got yourself a good build on your hands. Well-rounded, that can take on content, that you can do legendary solo. You could do, obviously this is good. This is great in heroic content. So good stuff, peeps. Oh, you know what? I should give you guys some options. So I realized, so now that we can get the Murakami knee pads, okay? So now that these are available to you, okay? The limiter probably is gonna be, so if you don't have this chill out mask, just run, let me see if I have it in my stash. I think I checked and I don't have it in my stash. I think it's on my other character because I have stash issues. Then run a Wyvern, okay? But I don't think I have the Wyvern here. Yeah, I don't have Wyvern here. So let me see what else I can put there instead. Well, let's just leave it. So, okay. So if you don't have this Gila Guard chill out mask with armor regen already on it, so you can roll the skill tier, then use the skill damage version. If you don't have that, then use a Wyvern mask here and run armor regen and skill damage on that mask, and then a protection from Elite's mod. Okay, so the limiter, so I think all of you guys should be able to get everything here, right? So this is just, so a Bellstone with armor regen already on it is pretty easy. So you just needed to have glass cannon so you can roll the skill damage onto it, right? But if you could also use kinetic momentum also. But I do recommend glass cannon because that does power your assault rifle, and if you want to get out of cover, you need that burst damage on your assault rifle. So believe it or not, glass cannon helps you get out of cover more with this build. You don't need to worry about the glass with this build because you got lots of regen and armor on kill, so you're going to get that back. And remember, when your skills kill, you get that armor on kill also, so your skills proc armor on kill. So my second Bellstone piece is this one. It's actually pretty easy to find. I got it on everything. So I got one that looks just like this for my knees and for my gloves and for my mask. So this should be easy to find. So anyways, so you guys have options here. You should all be able to get these pieces. You are now able to pick up this piece this week, so which is one of the rare pieces on the build. So that closes the loop there. So the only piece that you may not have is the death grips, okay? So if you don't have the death grips, but you have the chill out mask, then just run a wyvern for your gloves. But if you're running the wyvern from your mask, then that's not going to work. So your other options are, you can run, I wouldn't go with Empress because that's only skill health. You could do improvised, actually. So you could do, let's see if I have one. So like kind of like that actually would be the one you want, except you would want a skill tier there instead. That's probably the way I would go. I might have that version. Improvised, actually finding improvised pieces with a skill tier are actually pretty easy. Let's see if I have one here in my stash already with the skill tier. I don't. Shoot. Yeah. So let's go create one. Unfortunately, this character has I'm limited on resources, but let's just see how fast it takes us to get one. How about that as a test for you guys? So if you've never created improvise, you need to make sure you got resources. Head on over to the crafting station, go here, and you go improvise gloves. Now, the good thing about improvise is they give you a skill, a mod slot. So what we're looking for is one that already has a skill tier on it, and then either skill damage or armor regen already on it, and then we'll re-roll it from there. So skill tier pieces tend to be easier to find, but let's just see. So not bad for a first start. So we got the skill tier, but I don't need Has Pro or a headshot, but that one's not horrible. So status effects and weapon handling, we don't need that, so I'm just gonna trash it. Don't need those stats. There it is. That one works. Okay, so you see why it works, and so I don't want to spend all day creating these, but let me crush that one. So I got the two stats that I needed: skill damage and armor regen. So I'm going to equip this. Okay, this is if you don't have the death grips. If you don't have the death grips, and then I'm going to go here. I'm going to re-roll this, change that weapon damage to a skill tier. Boom. It's actually usually easier to find the skill tier and skill damage, or skill tier and armor regen already on an improvised piece, but we got really lucky. So, and then you would optimize this from here. But well, what I'm going to show you is that basically what you can do is then you can put on another protection from elites mod if you wanted to here. And now we got actually really strong. Actually, this would be pretty fun build to run. So that puts us at 63% protection from elites. Yeah, just wanted to double check that. So look at that. So now we're at 63% protection from elites. So if you don't have, the death grips, you could do that, right? And you're also getting more armor regen out of this. Okay, you're getting more armor regen, but you're losing 10% armor on kill. But you're not going to miss it that much. It's actually a good backup piece for sure. And then you could put wyvern here. You could also put wyvern here too if you didn't want to do improvised. And you just want your wyvern to look just like that: skill damage, armor regen, wyvern for more skill damage. Does that make sense? So I want to make sure you have that alternative to your death grips. Otherwise, oops, wrong death grips. You could run those though. You could run those death grips and instead of crit damage, put on skill damage, and then you'll have more armor. So that's one way to go. But for me, I like that piece. Does that help to have that alternative there for you? Southside Lifestyle from Trinidad. Cool, man. Welcome. And Tobago. I don't know Tobago. But yeah, I appreciate that, man. So, man, the Emperor kneepads. I need to find friends for the raid in Dark Zone. I'm tired of playing half the game. Yeah, man, you do. Do you have? Are you clanned up, Southside? We are. We just opened up new PlayStation and Tux clans. We have multiple clans on each platform. So, yeah, if you're on any of those platforms, let us know if you're interested. But that'll help out a lot. I mean, I think the Dark Zone is, is a smaller community, definitely, and most people play PvE in this game, like vast majority. But yeah, that's the way to go. Anton from Hungary, all right. I know that about you, and I like that. Going real east on this. Fug it says, I'm trying to make a healer weapon damage build with RNK so far it works great. Yeah, actually, Fug it, that build is one of my favorites that you're working on. I really like that build. And Fug it, with the new chill out mask, it actually got better. It actually got stronger, because with chill out mask you can run even more repair skills and incoming repairs with that. So the catch would be to put R and K on your chest or backpack with Alps on your chest and backpack. So if you have that set up, then you can run the chill out mask. But on the other hand, if you're gonna run the memento backpack, which is really attractive for those because you get the skill tier, then and then the skill efficiency pickups, then you know, run Alps on your chest and then R and K on your mask, so then you wouldn't use the chill out in that scenario. But and then I use improvised gear pieces for the rest. I also created that 511 build. So somebody dared me to create a 511 build, and I ended up going incoming repairs route. Did you see that one, Fugget? That was a really good build. It was actually a lot of fun. It was, you could basically stand there and just take all the heat. Let me grab it for you. Let me grab that link for you, Fugget. I'm sure you saw it, but just in case. Here it is. So actually, and I'm not a fan of 511. The only 511 piece that I use is those death grips. Otherwise, I think the set sucks. But I was dared to do this 511 build, and I created an incoming repair version of 511, and it actually rocks. So that one might inspire you. The only thing that's new to the game, it would be the chill out mask, and that could make that build go to the next level. So check that out. Simon Taylor, yeah, good. So perfect question. Simon says, can I use Wyvern instead of the death grips? Yeah, totally. And yeah, so I'll alter this build, guys, any way that you see fit based on what pieces you do or do not have. But I do want you to know that it's like really well balanced. It really is. So the armor on kill on top of armor regen, it really does help. But the point is, you do have to go, you want to get those trophies, you want to grab those trophies. That's giving you so much extra damage because of the short-term buffs. Of course, the long-term buffs, of course. But the short-term buffs will give you basically a mini overcharge for 5 seconds on both your skills, you know, that are constantly out there doing damage. So you just want to go from trophy to trophy, always be moving like you're seeing I'm doing here. And so, but yeah, if you don't have the death grips, then go Wyvern or go improvised. Either one would work. And same thing with the mask. If you don't have the chill out, go Wyvern. If you don't have the chill out mask and you don't have the death grips, then I would put Wyvern on your mask, and then I would go improvise on your gloves, actually. Or you could also go two-piece Empress as well. You could do that, but you know, skill health, I don't really think you need more skill health, mostly because your skills aren't out there long enough. Besides the first wave is the only time where your skills are out there long enough where they could actually go down. But in all the other gameplay, your skills aren't out long enough for them to get shot down. You usually can kill everybody before you lose both your skills. So it's just too rare that your skills get shot down. Or especially your turret is what I'm really talking about, your turret. It's too rare that your turret gets shot down in order for you to need more skill health. So If your turret does bust, then oh well, just deal with it because it's just too rare. You don't want to waste that slot for more skill health. Just, you know, it's not getting you enough. It's my opinion though. Yeah, Ethan, good question there. Armor on Kill is a mod. Ethan asks, is Armor on Kill a mod? So that's the other thing I was saying. So if you don't want to do, let me just go back to this piece here. Where is the piece that we're running? This one. So if you don't want protection from elites, you can add more armor on kill. And I'm actually saying, and I don't normally do armor on kill for a mod, but it's actually not bad when you have skills that are doing all that armor on kill for you. So we could take away all of our protection from elites and replace them with armor on kill. Let's see what that gets us. Let's see what that gets us in the end. I could actually try to run this if you guys want. Oops, grabbed the wrong one. I'm confusing myself. Okay, so armor on kill. There, we're gonna change that. Armor on kill there. And so that one. Okay. So that's 40,000 armor on kill. So, and then we got 60,000 armor on kill. So let's change this one. So let's see if I have enough. So that's 80,000 armor on kill, right? And then let's change this. Am I using all of them? I'm wondering. I think I am, right? Because I got 5. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. So what does that give us? An armor on kill. So if I have, hold on a second, I can't do YouTube math. So let me see, you got 20, 40, 60, 80, 100,000. So that's basically 10%, right? Yeah, so we got just shy of 10% armor on kill. So that's basically giving you 10% armor on kill. But what I would do, I mean, so on top of that, we're getting a little bit of armor regen. So this way we're getting all the, so we still have 20% armor and kill on the build. We just get a tad bit more armor regen this way because we have the extra attribute slot that the death grips didn't give us. But if we did this, this combo, then we're getting 10 points, like basically, let me see, 10, 20, 30, let me see, 20, 40, 60, 80. So basically 10, 20, we're getting basically 27% armor on kill with this setup, which is actually pretty cool on a skill build, because again, your skills are getting the armor on kill for you. Does that make sense? So, you know, so even if you're hiding in cover because you took a bunch of damage and you're like, oh, I need to recover, your skills are going to help you do that. Good question, Ethan. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I mentioned it earlier that if you don't want to go protection from elites, is probably the direction I would go. It would be armor on kill, just because that actually adds up to a lot. Yeah, so let's see what this adds up to. So make sure I reset this. We'll do this on the fly.
You've got your objective. Don't let anything stand in your way.
So I'm gonna be a little quiet on the questions while I do this, so I apologize for that. Quiet on the comms! So when you're doing solo legendary, District and Union, the first few seconds are basically like within the first few seconds, like literally like 30 seconds of the gameplay. That's your greatest chance of getting hit by a grenade. So so that's where you want to be most cautious, is just at the start. And then what ends up happening is the enemies start to settle out, and you just have to keep an eye on where those grenaders are from there. And then of course the tanks are our DPS checks, so let's check our DPS. And DPS check is looking good. So I try not to kill that purple grenader right away. I try to keep him alive. But all the other tanks retreated, which is annoying. I don't like it when they retreat. So what I try to do is pick up these little trophies. So what I also try to do is just discourage that purple guy from getting in my zone, but I try not to kill him, that purple grenadier. We need to find those tanks though. It's annoying that they hide from us. There they are.
Serious trauma detected.
So let my regen work. I don't have a lot of trophies yet, so just keep that in mind. Boom! Do you see that armor on kill right there? All from that purple guy. That was a lot of armor on kill. So that big armor on kill made a change. It felt like 50%. I mean, it wasn't. It's like 27% or something like that, but it felt like a lot. I hate when they all hide like this. It's annoying.
Vital signs critical.
See how much pain I took there? Took a lot of heat from that tank. The armor regen is what keeps you up, believe it or not. It's just enough armor regen to take in a couple of those extra bullets to buy you time to get into cover. I like how these guys can snipe with their shotguns. It's always fun. See, I'm getting sniped by that shotgun. That's fucking hilarious. Fuck you, dude. Sniping with your shotgun. Anyways, you've seen how I think the armor on kill actually is a nice little addition. If I had the protection from elites, however, I would have been able to take that shotgun more, right? Because I had 60% protection from elites, where armor on kill is a retroactive thing, right? After kill you get that. So that's why I like the combo of the two, having protection from elites and armor on kill, so that way you're more in balance. Oh yeah, that's the grenader. We want him.
Hostile civilian targeted.
If I get a shot at this yellow grenader, then this elite grenader, then I take it. The purple grenader is the one that I try to avoid. I try to save him for last, because he triggers the next wave. So, but health-wise, I think that's what we're trying to pay attention to with this gameplay footage, is pay attention to where we are health-wise. We can take damage and how fast we're going to recover from it. And a lot of that, it is passive recovery. So, and it's funny that I'm saying that, because we don't think of armor on kill as passive, but when you have it combined with a skill, then it is passive, because your skills are doing all the work for you. So I don't mind taking a little bit of damage because I know I'm just gonna get my life back quickly. So I know there's a tank hiding around here somewhere, so let's see if we can get rid of that tank real quick. Well, that's my gameplay sound. I don't know if you guys can still hear it, but for some reason I'm not. Oh, shit. Yeah, I didn't hear that helicopter because I lost my gameplay sound. Apparently a helicopter came. Let's see if we can roll out of these shotgunners that are hounding me right now. So we're in trouble. So unfortunately, I lost my gameplay, so I don't know why. I don't know if I hit something on my keyboard on accident, but I can't hear anything. That's kind of frustrating because I didn't hear that helicopter come. But see how what's keeping me alive here? The movement obviously is a lot of help, but the armor on kill was a ton of help. So now what I gotta do is just get rid of these drone operators because they're gonna be a pain in my ass if I don't. So now we're getting more of that armor regen. I don't know why my sound is gone. Let me see what I did. Why don't I have sound? Yeah, I don't know why the sound is down. Okay, well, there's what it is. I guess we got the other helicopter now. Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of bothering me that I don't have sound right now, though, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna grab that trophy there, put my skills on little hyperdrive. Get a little armor on kill. So the dangerous part is that there's that drone operator up there. You see her? You don't want those ladies flying around you. So the Chunga, got rid of the Chungas. Now we just need to get rid of these drone operators because they're gonna bug the hell out of us. But yeah, this build does really well this way too. So I'm liking it with the armor and kill. It is a nice change. That's definitely helpful. So protection from elites, armor and kill. It's probably even more helpful. You know, the reality is that armor and kill is gonna be more helpful than protection from elites because there's not as many elites as you would think in legendary. Now I'm saying that for legendary. If this was heroic gameplay, then protection from elites makes you god because there's so many elites in heroic. There's a lot of elites in heroic. Ooh. That cover sucks. Like it doesn't let you go around it. Snipers are dangerous back here because you know they can take you in one shot, right? Yeah, so but it is a nice change, but the sound. Okay, let's see if we can get our sound back before we move on to the next dealio, because I don't know what happened, why I lost my sound. Let's switch back so that this is recorded. Anarchy Simulations, what's up, brother? We're just doing a little solo legendary here, making some changes on the fly. So this is the latest change. So what I did was I put on more armor on kill. So double armor on kill amounts. That's good right there. I mean, that mask right there is 40,000 armor on kill, right? And then there's 60,000 armor on kill, and then there's 80,000 armor on kill. And so 80,000 is just shy of 10% armor on kill, right? So that's basically that puts us at 20. We're technically 27% armor on kill, give or take a few points there, but. What does Eclipse say? Eclipse 27. I've learned the hard way about opening the gate to the right of the UA on legendary content. Yeah, I like to open it just because it gives me, because they tend to jump over back and forth, and so I want to be able to have the same ease of going to the other side of that fence. Mostly it's for those tanks though, because they pivot to you. So sometimes if I want to, what I'm doing is I'm getting the enemy to migrate. I'm influencing where their positioning is. So. What ends up, because they migrate around you. So this is what happens. So if I'm over here fighting, right? What ends up happening, and then I move over here and go here, okay? What ends up happening is they will pivot, they will adjust and start moving over here. They're gonna move here, because they want to get out of my line of fire, but also get themselves in a good position. So they're going to start moving back here. So by moving over there into this side, this is why I do it, by moving back over here, that allows me to get those guys to move to that side of the fence. Now, I usually have a turret sitting here, so that turret will hold them down back there so that it'll kind of pin them down. And so that'll allow me to clear out a few of the guys that are standing around in this open space here. There's usually a couple of guys here. So it'll allow me to clear that out. And then I'll actually swing back over to where these guys are. And then by doing that, that'll push these guys. They're going to start falling backwards. They're going to shoot at me as they fall back, right? They're going to fall backwards, back over here. And then I'm shooting them as they're falling back. Puts them on the defensive. So it's just a way to manipulate the crowd, I guess, if I'm saying that right, to get the crowd to go where you want them to go. That's why I opened the fence up. It allows me to move freely. And they're able to move freely already because they're able to jump that fence, right? So they're able to jump over it and you can't. So by opening it up, it gives you the same advantages that they have. But I know what you mean though. I know what you mean, because you're like, oh, I'm also opening up a threat because now they can cross over even faster. But yeah, I find it's more of a plus than a...
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of
being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains. I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things. Gonna make a f***ing name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to love.
Quick, don't get caught on that corner. Oh, I got caught on that corner. That's too bad. But yeah, that was my bad right there. That was a dumb roll. But yeah, the gameplay footage is working fine here. I don't know why it's not working fine over there. It would help to know when there's somebody shooting at you. But yeah, it's weird. Let me see. I'm sorry, I just need to look at this. Huh. Yeah, I don't know why the sound went out on that. But anyways, yeah, so that's the build, guys. So I think either way, protection from elites or armor on kill are good to go. So if you don't have the 511 pieces, then you know improvise gives you some more flexibility, and you still get armor on kill, enough armor on kill to make it worth it. So Daryl Mesa, older players are the best. Yep. There's a lot of us older players on here. I think that basically makes up the community. Rob84, appreciate you, man. I'm glad you appreciate the content, man. Yeah, just trying to keep this stuff rolling for you guys. Give you some good builds to farm for. Digital Dog, like, I don't know. I can't say I have a favorite Pink Floyd album. just because I'm not a whole album guy on anything, so I don't really have an answer for any full album question. But I think I've seen the Brick in the Wall movie. I think I've seen that. Really old, right? I mean, I have vague memories of it, if I'm thinking if it's the one that I have in my head, but yeah. Daryl Mason, no, the gameplay footage is separate. They are separate layers. So the music is its own layer track. And then the sound is coming in through my streaming system, basically. And so it was working fine, and all of a sudden it just went quiet, and I feel like I might have accidentally hit something on my keyboard, like while I was playing, and like that muted it. And I just don't know what I did, but it's hard to say, you know. So I think I'm gonna have to test it when I'm offline and try to figure out what I did, or it might just be just went on silent mode on its own for whatever reason. But so Guyver asks, question about SHD levels 1,000. Does the base damage on gear and weapons change? Also, does it change each time you reach a new level? The answer is no. Right now, the answer is that you're basically, it's affecting some core stats your watch level is, right? And that's as you're modifying your watch. So if we look here, oh, now my gameplay footage is back. Sound is back. Let me see. Yeah, it is. Now it's back. So it must have just gone quiet for a minute. But like, if you look at your watch here, bud, like, so these are what changes with your, oh, am I getting attacked? Oh shit, I set off that. She tested my weapon. I set off that thing. So when you level up your watch, you're filling up these stats here, and that's what makes you better, makes your character better, basically, stronger. So you got defense, right? Armor, hazard protection, whatever. But none of that is really affecting your gear. Just your stats. So there we go. Let me reset this. Now maybe we can play better now that we have sound. There we go.
Don't let anything stand
Let's try
in
this
your way.
again now that I have sound, guys. Ooh, Evil Dam's got a good question. Does that make sense, Guyver? But before I move on to Evil Dam, Evil Dam's got a good question. I want to talk about that for a second. Guyver, yeah, so no, it's your watch, your levels are never gonna adjust your build. It's just gonna adjust your character stats. So, but like, it's gonna give you more crit chance, more base crit chance, crit damage, weapon damage, and more armor, hazard protection, stuff like that. But your gear stats that you can see here, like that armor at the very top, it says 158,000 armor. That's always going to be the same on the gear itself. So I hope that helps. But in the future, you're going to have this thing called, what is it called? Efficiency or proficiency. And so that's going to change. So as you use Bellstone longer, and as you level up on your experience, then your Bellstone might be stronger than somebody else's Bellstone, if that makes sense. So I think that's only applies as to the core stat of the game. Okay, so, but who was it that asked that question there? Is that right? I don't know, Digital Dog. I think your health is always the same, right? Isn't it? Your health does. Oh yeah, I guess your health does go up. You're right. There's a health boost. Good point. Good point. I never pay attention to that because my health always sucks. Good job, Digital Dogs. That's true. Every time you level up, your health does go up. Not your armor, though. The question, though, is, or the comment is between the test subject and the capacitor. Now, it was tested fully, just so that it's out there, is that the capacitor is actually stronger. And that was based off of testing, range testing. But on paper, they look very similar. Now, the truth is like the test subject, like when you run damage to targets out of cover, that itself makes it stronger, right? But notice like it's got technically less health damage, right? The capacitor's only got 10% health damage, where the test subject's got 21%. So you're getting twice as much health damage. So you're 2x stronger there. But instead of damage to armor, you got damage to targets out of cover, which applies to both elites and non-elites, where damage to armor is only going to apply to elites. And when you're playing legendary, damage to targets out of cover means more. So, but in sync, it's going to give you basically 40% more skill damage, where that's weaker than capacitance, which is giving you 60% more skill damage. Now, the big difference is the skill tier thing, okay? So 7.5% is what I'm getting per skill tier, and I got 6 skill tiers, right? So, what does that come out to, guys? That's I think that's. Let me give you the exact number. I'm using my calculator. Hold on a sec. %. So 45% weapon damage from the skill tiers, plus 15% from the red. So we got 60% skill damage bonuses from the cores, basically. So where the capacitor is going to take 0. I mean, the test subject is going to take 0. You understand what I'm saying there? So we're getting 7.5% weapon damage per skill tier, and we have 6 of those, so that's 45% weapon damage. And then we got 1 red weapon damage core from the memento backpack, so that's 60% total weapon damage. The test subject is only getting 15% from the backpack red core, and then in sync is giving it 40% weapon damage, so that's at 55% total weapon damage. So the capacitor is stronger by 5% in this setup. Does that make sense? But if I start losing yellows, then I start looking towards the test subject. So if I have like if I have a red weapon damage core here, or I have more blues, if I'm running less than 6 skill tiers, then I start looking at the test subject. But for 6 skill tiers, the test subject is the way to go, plus all that extra skill damage. So let's see how we do now that we can hear ourselves, because I couldn't hear earlier, and that does take away from my gameplay capabilities. I don't know about you guys. Can you play without sound? Are you guys any good at playing without sound? I'm not. I gotta know if somebody's shooting at. I gotta hear, like those triggers. Like when I hear that helicopter coming, like that helps me know that I need to be moving or doing something. As an example. Sometimes I can't, like hearing footsteps is another important thing too, right? I think we get slaughtered. Get slaughtered there. Part of that, if you don't know, is that like when you're standing outside the thing, make sure you reset your legendary, so it resets the guys inside there.
Don't let anything stand in your way. You've got your objective. Don't let anything stand in your way.
Sometimes when you get killed like real easy like that, like the things tend to flank out of pattern. It's because if you were standing at the gates for too long, it sort of activates the legendary, like the characters, their animations, and they start like walking around and stuff like that. And they sort of get out of their starting position, which can be a disadvantage to you. So if you go down or you have to restart or whatever, if you're just starting or if you're standing at the gates for too long, remember to hit that reset button. Grenade! That hurt. Yep.
Agent killed.
This is solo legendary, guys. Sometimes you gotta do it over and over again. Trust me.
Anything stand in your way.
Trust me. I mean, and that's what makes you good at it too, right? Is the perseverance to be able to not get too frustrated and then start over. You know what is frustrating though is it's like, look at where our my ammo is at. So, you know, I don't like that mechanic of the game. Like, I really don't understand it, to tell you the truth. Like, when you die, they don't give you all your ammo back. So, I mean, so what ends up happening, and it's like, which is dumb, is that, I mean, it's not like, oh, it's only fair. Well, it's not fair, because all I have to do is just travel to the White House. So it's just annoying. It just became an annoying thing, you know? But now I'm in a big disadvantage from trying to run this back to back because I don't have any ammo. So I could run out of ammo real easy here. So thank God I'm able to get out of cover, because then we'd be in big trouble. I like getting shot by, sniped by those shotgunners, those engineers with the shotguns. That's just like, really, dude? You shotgun me from like forever far away? Like, wow, that's impressive. You need a raise. So I try to move around a lot too. It's it helps the grenadiers, keeping the grenadiers from targeting you easily. So I displace a lot. You see those shotgun snipes coming through? Oh my god. I just laugh at that because it's like, come on. We already got the homing grenades, right? The grenades that follow you wherever we go. Last thing we need is the shotgun guys sniping you. I don't know if we've got all the tanks. I feel like there's a tank hiding. What do you guys think? I hate when they do that. Comes a helicopter. Oh, I gotta grab ammo now that I'm remembering. Let me get that ammo. Try to get my turret up a little higher here. By doing that, you get a 360 rotation on your turret there. It's gonna help with the next wave. I actually try to get the snipers as one of my first targets because they go and hide, and so I don't want them to. It slows you down in the end because you have to go hunt them down. So the higher positioning on the turrets really helps too. Caught in a bad spot. That is not what I wanted to do. Oh, that was my bad. I got caught in a fence. But that's kind of some of the trouble that you can get into when you're getting out of cover. When you're running out of cover, you know what I mean? Also, when you're live streaming and playing at the same time, you get caught in fences. Don't get caught in fences. But all right, let's have another. So the other thing is we were out of ammo, so I'm gonna fast travel to the. You know what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Is that irritating to you, or is it just me? Like, so when you die and you have to restart at the beginning of a legendary or whatever, right? Even if it's heroic, I think it's the same thing. But they start you with half ammo, and there's no ammo crate out there, so I can't replenish. So I gotta just fast travel to a safe house or whatever. So it's not like, oh, it's fair. It's fair for the game that way. That you got to be at a disadvantage. But it's not. I mean, it's not, because I can cure it by fast traveling. So it's more of it's just annoying. All you've done is annoy me, you know. So I don't understand how that. What is it doing? Can somebody explain that to me? Can somebody explain to me, what do you think from your perspective, you know? Irish guy, laugh aloud. Yeah, fences are OP. Oh yeah, it's just like, oh man, I got caught in that fence. Yep, they're killer. Look out for the barbed wire. Fat. What up, fat guy? You're retired. Look who's talking, Mr. Retired. Smoking the Kush. Mr. Nobody's got a job. Let me record this other. Pause that. Okay. So let's not get caught in a fence this time. Let's not get caught in a fence. But I hope you guys are getting good intel here on how these builds work as far as being able to get out of cover. Just don't get caught in fences and you'll be all right. But the armor on kill, what we're testing here is really the armor on kill. We're trying to see if it's a worthy update out of the protection from elites, and it's I think it's nice. I think it's nice. I mean, I think it's, for me, it's still tough to call because I'm a big fan of protection from elites, but it's definitely doing what it's supposed to do. It's a lot. It's a lot of added armor on kill when you add, and I think a lot of that's thanks to the chill out mask. I think that mask brings a lot to the table by being able to add another mod. So what you see my strategy here? Move, grab your trophies. Fall back, fall forward, kind of thing, you know. Fall back, push forward. But every time I pick up one of these trophies, it's giving me a nice little boost on that skill efficiency, and that's what we're looking for. Thank you for the trophy. You gotta get rid of this tank. They're the most important thing to get rid of. Because they pin you down. Make sure you use your moves. See, that's the armor on kill right there working for me. It's passive, remember that. Because my skills can give it to me too. So notice we're looking good on the health part. That was that armor on kill that did that for us, right? So we need to take out that drone lady or she's gonna be a pain. Tuxedo. Actually, hit that button. Sorry about that. The chunkers are never going to advance on you beyond a certain point. So if you can get the snipers out of your way, they're the real threat. Because the chunkers are never going to come back here. So I'm able to just throw my turret out and we'll take care of them. So there's the snipers are the ones that hide. So I'm actually trying to go for them first. I see the problem is I keep hitting things on my keyboard. That's what's having the funny unintended experiences that we're seeing here. Anyways, what we're watching again is our armor. Obviously we're full right now, but that's what we're watching because this is a comparison to the original build. What we did is we added basically 80,000 more armor on kill, which is equivalent to almost a full 10% armor on kill. Shy of that. No turret left behind! Bring your turret with you! Lots of trophies laying around, huh? Plenty of trophies to choose from. It's raining. This is what, so I'm from Portland, Oregon, and if you've never been to Portland, this is basically what it looks like. So yeah, welcome to the soggy Northwest. That's basically what it looks like. So you're not missing much. But yeah, so I feel like it's working out. So for those of you that don't have the death grips, you know, if you can get the chill out mask, and it doesn't have to have armor regen. Again, you know, chill out mask with crit damage would also work. I think that one's on in my stash, but or wyvern. I would probably go wyvern mask, and then I would do the improvised gloves. These gloves here, where'd they go? All the way down here. These gloves. For improvised, and then you get more armor on kill that way. But that's right. So we dropped the armor on kill to 10 or 20, 40, 60, 80. Yeah, so this says 80%, 80,000 armor on kill, plus the 10% armor on kill from 511, plus the 10% armor on kill from the 2-piece bellstone. So lots of armor on kill. But you gotta remember, that's also on top of all of our armor regen. So, you know, we got a lot going on in this build, which is why it's a lot of fun. Okay, so the last time I got caught at the door, and the reality is that we shouldn't have to fall back like we did. For some reason we did. And we didn't change any damage output, so I don't know why we had to fall back, but we don't want to do that. Got 2 good kills off that. That's what I wanted to see. 2 key kills. One of those was a technician, a healing technician, and the other one was a medic. So those are 2 good kills. It's coming from me apparently. This is kind of one of the more annoying parts of District Union, because all of those healing stations, and then they go and hide on top of that. It's just like, what, you know, you're basically invulnerable. Why do you also need to hide, you know? Like, I don't get your strategy here. He didn't last long. So normally this is where I go and get ammo, so I can do that. Except there is a medic around still, so you don't want to be gone for too long, because he's up there getting guys up and you have to kill him twice. That's annoying. The power feels really good on this setup though, on both setups. So the armor on kill and armor kill versus protection from elites is basically all we changed, right? So we took off, we have 0% protection from elites here, but we were able to pick up all of that extra armor on kill, and that's not changing our power output. It's affecting our type of survivability, basically. Now, the idea is that protection from elites is more useful, I mean, against the Chungas, but armor on kill is more useful all the time because there's more there's more non-elites in legendary than there are elites. So that's kind of what we're testing here. Now, when they drop the heals like that, which luckily they didn't last for very long, but so what I try to do is break his chain. That buys us more time to... Of course I had to fall back, but that's not what I like to do. So I did break his chain, but... Yeah, actually that irritates me, so I'm irritated that I had to fall back. I did not like to do that. So let me actually break my turret. See that regen kick in right there? That was nice. So the thing is, like, I can't send in my my drone because it's won't cross that threshold, which is another annoying game mechanic. So what I'm gonna do is throw in my turret and then give him a decoy to play with also, and then that will allow me to kick some butt. I don't got a good shot on that guy though. Have you ever actually seen these guys come out of this door? They came out once. They actually came out once here when I was playing. They, like, literally one of the guys came all the way out here. It doesn't normally happen. It's not supposed to happen that way, I don't think. I don't think they can cross that barrier, but they do. So, but yeah, that's irritating me. I don't know why, but it might be because I'm not focus firing enough because I'm live streaming. But I normally don't like that fallback situation. And as you can see from the gameplay footage from this morning, I didn't have to fall back. And I think that's the difference there is just that I think I was prioritizing my shots better, like breaking the chains better. And when I'm live streaming and playing at the same time, I tend to get distracted a little bit. So see how, there we go. See that turret drop right there? So that's gonna take aggro. So I get that out and then I come out. So that's gonna take the aggro from me, which is nice. And I don't know if you caught that I blew up that barrel. There's a hidden, basically, gas barrel that's by that turret. It's on the other side of the barrier, and if you take that out, it'll blow up the guy who's on that turret.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me f***ed up. Let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes.
alcohol for you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty.
Normally goes a little bit faster here, actually. I think it was the way they spread out that pattern. So yeah, so as you can see, the trick to that was to actually get by these hospital beds. It plays out better because you get them right when they spawn. So, and if you're a little bit more focused than I was right there, you could actually do a better job of killing them. Just don't put your turret right over yourself here, because then it's going to attract the drones and the grenades. So if you notice, I had my turret over here, but even a better position is to get your turret right here. And so that way it can shoot at anything that's down here. So it's going to get me all the bad guys over here. And then it's also going to shoot the bad guys that are coming as they're coming right out of this door, because they spawn out of this door. And then they tend to hide back here. And then also they spawn right out of this door. So this is the best spot here, ultimately. But you don't want it too far away from you, because then if for some reason an enemy kind of pushes up on you, you need that turret to take aggro for you. So that's why just get it as far out as possible without it, within arm's reach is what I like to say. So, and you know, be able to move around and get close to that if you need to, so you can pick it up and move it. So anyways, and the only thing you need to be aware of is like when they spawn, they can actually shoot through this glass, and so can you. So if you're really good, you can actually kill them before they even came out of there. But they can also shoot back at you. So just stay down at first and let that kind of calm down for a few seconds before you start spending a lot of time out of cover. Now earlier I played this a little bit more aggressive because I had armor on kill. I mean protection from elites, but because I don't have that, I have to be a little bit more cautious. So if I grab this, I get a little overcharge, right? So I grab that trophy, up get a little oomph to the skills. All right. Mr. Gods, welcome to the Players Club. True Bandito, all right. That means you get the hot new builds right as they come out. Yeah, I appreciate you supporting me, man. Thanks for that. Where you, what part of the world are you from, Mr. Gods? Mr. Gods. I like your name. Mr. Gods. I feel like I'm addressing somebody very important. I'm gonna drop a link for you too, so to make sure you have access to the content easily. So there's stuff that there's other classified builds that you haven't seen yet that you can get access to today. So follow those links. One of them is just going to take you to my my YouTube homepage, and there you'll be able to see right at the top now that you have members access, you'll be able to see right at the top. There's going to be a playlist for members, and you'll get access to all the classified builds, and there's live streams in there, and there is a level above you. And for the hardcore players, for you guys that are hardcore, you get access to the digital downloads and the live stream music as well. Okay, let's check out this next section. Appreciate you, Mr. Golds. And also the other link is for Discord, because if you're able to take advantage of that, I encourage you to, because it's also got Players Club members only channels. So if you want to hang out with the other club members or chat it up with me, that's the best place to get to me. For full conversations, that is. Ooh, look at those drones.
Vital signs critical.
Throw some grenades. Where's that drone lady at? Oh, there she is up there at the top. Pin her down. Yeah, but yeah, look at my health is all the way back up though. So, but we were all the way down to nothing because of those drones. Oh, there's another drone lady. Yeah, so I mean that's what helps also the game be more enjoyable. You know, when you're. The thing is, it's like when you have low health, you just play differently, right? Like more conservatively, and because you have to, or you're gonna die. And so, but when your health comes back. I mean, it should almost be a mechanic in the game, right? Where your health just comes back. I mean, your armor is what I mean. Like, it should be built in. I think there's games that are like that, too, right? Where no matter how much damage you take or whatever, they have your armor just kind of regenerates and never completely goes away like in this game. So notice I picked up my turret here. So I try to get my turret into a position where it can pick up that spawn right as they come out. They're going to take that aggro. The key target here when they first come out is really you're after the purple guy. There's one purple guy. He's got the juice, right? And unfortunately, he dropped it right at the door. So, and then after him, it's the sniper. Picking up all those. You see that sniper die real fast? Trophy is just added to that. That's all she wrote. Also, I mean, not that we need it with this build, but there's these shock rounds right here. These are real helpful for the next, basically 2 rooms, really. If you can conserve them, so I'm gonna try to save them actually. So I'm gonna, on this next room, I'm gonna try not to put out very many shots. I'm actually gonna try to save these for the following room. And so what I'm gonna, so the way to do that, I'll put out a couple of shots, but the way to do that would be to switch guns, and then also let my turret and drone do most of the work. So. See that armor on kill work there? It's actually dangerous. Oh, we got stood up. Oh, that's no bueno. I fucked up. I should have used the other gun. I was being stingy with those shock rounds. Ghoulish, why are you wearing the festive death skull mask? That's my character. I'm TuxedoBandido, in and out of the game. Always on. I actually sleep with this mask, believe it or not.
got your
It doesn't
objective.
actually come
Don't let
off.
anything stand in your way.
It's actually attached, surgically attached to my skull. Funny thing. And then, so when I was born, the doctors put this mask on my face, and then as my skull was developing and then it closed in on the fissures, it actually attached itself to my face. So the skull, no matter how hard I pull, I mean, this actually hurts, doesn't actually come off my face. Anyways, luckily enough, I was able to find the same mask for my character. So yeah, I am TuxedoBandido. I was born this way with this face mask. Yeah, so in and out of the game, I wear this mask. Yeah. To my wife's disappointment, of course. So, or maybe she likes it. I don't know. We'll have to ask her. Good question. Actually, who was that? Does your VidGirl8? The specialization does and it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's a really good question because there's a couple of different ways you can go with this, and the way I have it set up, it does matter right now, but depending if you configure your build differently, then you can go with a different specialization. But bottom line is you need to have 6 skill tiers on this build. Okay, you need those skills to be hitting at their highest potential possible. So that's what helps you get out of cover. And then it's for the skill health, because this is specifically tuned for legendary. So if you don't do legendary or solo legendary especially, then you can get away with less skill tiers because skill health is gonna not be as important. But for legendary, they will shred they're gonna shred your turret and your drones so fast that you need that skill health is actually pretty important. So bottom line is 6 skill tiers, but we got armor from our backpack as long as our weapon damage scores. So if we were willing to go with less armor, you could run a whole nother build. Okay, let me find another bell. So I still want bellstone. Okay, but look at this bellstone right here. Okay, so this is for you. Who was that again? VidGirl. Because I like your question. It's a great question, and it actually opens up a whole nother build. Okay, so it's the same but different. So this is like Slaughter, like 1.5-2.60 or something like that, right? Like this is like the same build, but it's different. It's enough to be like, wow. Okay, so let's just recap what we got going here. Okay, so we got what did we say? 6.5% armor regen. Okay, and then we got almost 3% armor on kill. Right? Can we just round that up to 3% armor on kill? Because we got 80,000 armor on kill here. We got 1.1 million. So we're technically at like 2.28% armor on kill. But let's just call it 30% armor on kill. That's what I meant. 30% armor on kill. So let's round up to 30% armor on kill, 6.5% armor regen. Okay. So what she's saying is like, well, can we change the specialization? And you can actually change it to be something more advantageous. Technician is giving this. The reason why we run Technician is for 2 main reasons for me. One is that 12% damage to drone skills, proxies, and robotics. So basically, the dogs and the tanks is really helpful here, right? And then we get an extra skill tier. By getting an extra skill tier, it allows us to run an extra armor core, which gets us to 1.1 armor. But that's not that important. It's not. It does help with the regen a little bit. It helps you stay out of cover, take a few extra bullets or whatever. But as you heard me say, it's not how much armor you have, it's how fast you recover. So what is more important here? Armor regen or armor on kill? Well, I think they're equally important because they are both working for this build's advantage. This build is tuned to be balanced that well that I can honestly say without like, they're not just blank words, that they're both playing a vital role. But if we wanted to have more armor on kill, what we can do instead is run Gunner. So Gunner is going to give us 10% armor on kill, but what else it's going to help with is our ammo capacity. So it's going to ensure that we don't run out of ammo. So it's rare that I do run out of ammo with this build, but it is possible if you don't move as much as I do that you can actually run out of ammo. But because I'm moving a lot to pick up those trophies, that I pick up ammo along the way. So if we activate this, what ends up happening is we're gonna lose a skill tier, right? There's several different ways you can do this. Okay, so I'm only gonna give you a couple ways, but one is, okay, cool. So we're gonna lose the skill tier. So we need to drop an armor core and pick up a skill tier, because one of the things is that we have to have, I can change my gun because it's making it look like we have a skill tier. So as you can see, we have 5 skill tiers, bottom left. So what we want to do is, you could add Wyvern. That could work. I mean, I wouldn't want the crits. I'd still want skill damage and armor regen there, but it just as an example. But what I'm gonna do is, but we still need a 2-piece Bellstone. Now we could do the mask as the second piece of Bellstone. So that could be, I have that piece right there, boom. So we got the 20, now we've maintained our armor regen, we've maintained our armor on kill. We still have the 30% armor on kill here, right? This is gonna create a really good build actually, by the way, because it's a really solid option. So the other way we could do it is, and then let me see if I have a true Wyvern chest. I think I do here. So what I would do would be put on the true Wyvern chest, or that one. Nope, it's got to be yellow. So I should have a Wyvern here. So you could do Fenris also, by the way. You could also go with the sacrifice, but I'm looking for a true Wyvern. Of course, it's gonna be on my other character, isn't it? Oh, there it is. Boom. Perfect. Let me get rid of something here. I got something extra. Delete you. Stick with me. Stick with me. Don't let me lose you. Okay, so we're looking for that Wyvern as a mustache. Okay, here. You need to push it over here. Perfect. Skill damage, armor regen. So you want skill damage and armor regen on everything. You see that? Boom. Okay. So we picked up 10% more skill damage that way. So we lost a skill tier, and a skill tier equals 20% skill damage, but we just gained it back, okay? The skill tier back, and then we picked up an extra 10% skill damage on top of that, and that's because I got rid of the chill out mask for the extra mod slot. So we're gonna lose a little, so we lost a little bit of armor on kill, but we gained even more armor on kill. So now we got, because of Governor's getting us 10%. Gunner's getting us 10%, so we got 10% from Gunner, 10% because we're running 2-piece Bellstone, and 10% because we're running 511. So now we have 30% armor on kill plus the mods, right? If we want mods. Now, with this setup, I don't think we want the mods anymore. So I would say if we're gonna do this setup, we would want to go back to protection from elites. Or you could do skill haste, would be the other alternative. But for me, I want the protection from elites. I think that's better for me. I could feel it when those chungas were close. Okay, so let's make a little bit of room here. Yeah, that's a really good question that you asked. So there we go. So we lost a little bit of armor, so keep that in mind. So what that's doing is that's weakening the armor regen a little bit, but we only lost. We were at 1.1, now we're at 900, so that's not a big loss. We still have the armor core here on our backpack. But what we gained instead is basically 10% more armor on kill. And so, to answer your question, no, you don't need Technician, but whatever you're gonna bring on instead, you really wanna think through it. And you might be saying, like, maybe you were probably thinking this too. And so you were probably thinking that, oh, well, maybe VidGirl, maybe I don't have the death grip, so I'm gonna run Gunner instead, and that's a great thought. And so if you could also drop your armor on kill back down, so you could bring it back down. And the question is, what would you run in instead? I mean, you could run. What would we run? Good question. I mean, we'd basically be on this situation again, and then. I mean, you could run Hand of You if you're really into skill haste, but I try to avoid skill haste with ballistic skills because, again, we get all the skill efficiency we need from the backpack. Again, we do have to wait for trophies, but so what I would put here is more, for me, this is what I would do. I'd put on more protection from elites, beef that up a little bit. And so let's see where that puts us. So we're at 50% protection from elites and 20% armor on kill. And then we gained an extra 10% skill damage. So basically, I think basically what that does first is it gives us a little bit more skill damage in exchange for armor, but we still got the same armor on kill. So we exchange armor for armor on kill, basically, doing that. I mean, armor for skill damage. That's what we traded. But if we wanted a higher skill damage, let's see. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how this played out. So this is interesting because we got 30% armor on kill now. See, 10% there, 10% there, 10% there. And then we still got 6 skill tiers, and then we picked up another 10% skill damage. It'd be interesting to see how this one plays out. I mean, I figure, so all of these changes are major, just so you guys know. They're like not major, they're like subtle. But the question is, are they an improvement or not? Are these changes improving the build? Are they making a better slaughter or just a different slaughter? Yeah, you know, Vid Girl, I bet you you're ready to change to heroic. You know, if you're doing challenging, you're probably ready for heroic. There's not a big difference between the two. And like Nail Bunny is saying, it's definitely more rewarding. So I encourage you to try it. You know, join the club, join the heroic club. This is where you'll be. You're ready. It depends, and also how long have you been playing the game? I mean, you know, knowing your spawn points, you know, knowing when the spawns come, and like the fact that like you should know as an experienced player that, you know, the second wave in heroic is all elites, right? You should know that. So how you play when you're attacking a control point versus defending a control point should be different as far as how aggressive you are. Rob Young, all right, you made it to the Tux's clans. Hey, if you're in a Tux clan like Rob Young, then be sure to do a hashtag Tux clan in the chat feed. We'd appreciate that. We'd like to know who you guys are. Constantly growing, guys. These clans are going to fill up quickly, so if you want in, get in now. Get in now. And also, if you haven't already hit the like, then do that. Do it right now. Hit the like on this video. I'd really appreciate that. That helps get the love out there for the other players. And then subscribe if you haven't done that also. Funny thing about YouTube, it takes a lot to get people to subscribe, but remember, subscribing doesn't cost you anything, and if you change your mind, you can always take it back. I like you. No, I don't anymore. Taking my subscribe back. You can always unsubscribe. You can always unsubscribe. Also, join Texas Players Club. I'm dropping a link. I appreciate that. Again, this is a time where the community needs to stick together and stay strong, and that's what we're doing. We're creating places to build a really tight-knit community. The Texas Players Club is one of them. And then, and you can join us both on Discord and here on YouTube. Texas Players Club. Gizu, that's a good question. In a group, is it possible for 1 or 2 group members to run around back and start mission where the snipers usually hide? No, at the start, yes, for sure. If that's, I mean, if you're asking about the start, then for sure. So I don't recommend it, and we have played that way, and it's actually a disappointment unless you got a really solid fucking squad. Okay, what I mean by that is when you're here at, what he's saying is like there's 2 entrances, 3 really, but 2 District Union. There's the one we're standing at, and then there's one all the way on the other side of this, basically this building here. So in order to get to it, you have to run through these doors back there that I'm showing you, these doors, and run all the way around until you get to basically where my cursor is here on the street entrance. So there's another street there, entrance right there on that yellow ring. And then of course there's one up top, up there. So you can split up the team and have 2 go to the back and then 2 play in the front and kind of sandwich guys. But what ends up happening is like, and I have done that before, where one of the sides will get overrun and then you end up with half a team. And so, you know, because accidents happen, right? Nobody's perfect, so accidents happen. So I find that keeping the team together is the most important thing so that you guys can help each other out. Okay, so what did we do? We got a little bit more protection from elites back, but we got a lot more. So we dropped our armor basically, and for that we got a lot more, actually a lot of the same things but in larger quantities. So we're getting we got less armor regen because of that, but not a lot less, just an incrementally less amount. But we gained an extra 10% armor on kill, which is huge, which is absolutely huge. And then we gained also, we brought back our protection from elites. and then we got a little bit more skill damage because of that. So yeah, this is gonna play nice. I can tell right away, actually. And so this is because of Big Girl's comment. So thank you for inspiring this alteration, Big Girl. I think it's I've actually been meaning to do this, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But mostly because I just wasn't sure if it was gonna warrant a full build video, because it's just it's a variant. But it might be a whole build on its own, actually, because that's quite a bit more armor on kill, and armor on kill can really change the way a build performs. See, you guys notice these tanks, they hide. That tank is technically hiding. So because he's hiding behind these mobile unit thingies, I can't get my turret won't track him. So we go. So we just dropped our armor. So let's see how our look at that armor on kill. Bink. Back to 100. Yeah, I like this build, actually. Grenade. Is that a tank still alive back there? If so, that's annoying. They hide those tanks like little chicken shits. It is. Technically, he's a waste of ammo now, so. He's really annoying. See, he's in a really annoying spot. Because I still got a drone lady alive, and I want to go after her. Look at him. He went through the fence. You see that? What a jerk. So when you kill a tank, you don't get armor on kill. Did you guys know that? I feel like I just figured that out after all this time I've been playing, like a few weeks ago. I was playing and I was working on armor on kill builds. I was like, tanks will give you back armor on kill. That's annoying. Look how far back those guys are hiding from us. I like, you know, what's really funny is also how the drones can retarget. They like have a really good retargeting system. Like whoever invented that, you know what I mean, is a freaking genius. Because in mid-air they can retarget you, right? Which is pretty amazing. I want to play aggressive, so I'm gonna put my turret up here. That's unfortunate that she went up there. Oh, come on, man. Wrap. Woo! Ah, that stinger. That was close.
Agent killed.
Yeah, but I like that version. I think that's a really good version. So good job for asking that question, because I definitely procced a good version of this build. The armor on kill can really be advantageous, especially like when you get in a pinch and you're just like, you got really strong skills and they're doing all the work for you, right? So that's definitely helping. Balto Games, you're right. You're right. He says never unsubscribe. That's pointless. Yeah. But subscribing takes nothing. If you don't like the content, don't watch the vids. I agree with that. That's for sure. That's the biggest thing, you know. Just realize, like, if there's content creators out there that you feel like are for you, I mean, of course, there's nothing that doesn't hurt to watch the videos, but if there's somebody that you despise and you absolutely don't like, realize when you watch the videos, that's the best way to support somebody. But I don't know what I'm saying there. Smash that like button. That's what I'm saying. Let's get 511 likes, Fat Cat says. So why go? Are we going for another 511 build? Woo woo, 511. We need 511 likes, guys. Some people are really big on likes on their videos. I think it's nice. We need likes because that does help. It is an indicator for the system, but you know, it's more important to me that you guys are enjoying the videos. Not forcing you to like them. So, but if you haven't hit the like button right now, right this second. It's a good way to support me and the community, because that's what I do. So this is the build adjustment that we had just made. So again, we were running technician before, so we lost some power to our robotics too. I should mention that, right? Because 12% damage to robotics actually means a lot for legendary. Now I'm not so concerned about it with heroic content, but for legendary, that's really helpful against those tanks. So there's that. So I would want to think about that. That's more important than anything, actually, the change. That would be the consideration. Like, do I want that 12% damage to robotics or not? That aside, this is a really nice adjustment. In exchange, I got that 10% armor on kill. I now no longer have to worry about our ammo because that's regenerating itself. And then I got to bring in one piece of Wyvern. So this is the new piece that we brought, where before we had the Bellstone complement to this chest piece, which is here. So basically the same thing. And when it comes to setup, so we did lose that armor core because we lost the skill tier and we had to make up for it, and that's why we brought on Wyvern. However, I could have ran this version I wanted to show you also, so with kinetic momentum. So if you don't want that negative side of glass cannon, then kinetic momentum is another way to go. That's going to give you 15% more skill damage to each skill. So, but you are going to lose this power to your primary weapon, because glass cannon works for your skills and your primary weapon. So that's why I like glass cannon, because it gives more oomph to that capacitor assault rifle. So, but if you're really against glass cannon, kinetic momentum is the way to go then, otherwise, on this setup, the way we have it built. So, and that's what we were running originally. So, and then the Wyvern is what we went with for this setup, and by doing that, we got rid of the chill out mask, and instead we're running our second piece of Bellstone here. So, and then again, this is all built. Today's build is sponsored by these Murakami Emperor's Guard kneepads. Get your 1% armor regen right now. Just head over to DZ West, purchase your Murakami Industries Emperor's Guard kneepads, and get that added armor regen. All only for 154 DZ credits. So yeah, be sure you buy those this week. You do have until basically Monday night, 1 week from today, in order to get enough DZ credits to buy these from DZ West. So yeah, they're really handy. You should have these for sure. And again, I have multiple pairs of Emperor's Guards. I collect these things. So you can never have too many Emperor's Guard knee pads. So I have maybe 6 or 7 pair, something like that. So yeah, so this is the build of the day, and it's one of my favorites. And again, this build basically started it all for the hybrid builds. I think for the community, this big wave of hybrid builds started coming out, all because of Slaughter, and that's what inspired the Game Over build. That's what inspired the perfect blend build, which is the 4-piece striker setup, which is really cool. I like that one. 4-piece striker hacked into a skill build, really fun to run. Oh, I appreciate you, Rob the God. It says, my bro Tux is the only reason why the game survives. Best builds, best content on YouTube. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm definitely, I wish I was the only reason why the game survived, but I know that's not the case. I know you guys are really what's behind a lot of it. I mean, especially, you know, so I've been talking about this community, right? This YouTube community, this this Texas Players Club community, our Discord. And that's why like we kind of hone that message a lot. And we do that on purpose. It is very intentional, right? It is so important right now, guys, that we band together. We brothers, we few, we band together. You know, so just because Shakespeare was not wrong, I think that, you know, in times like this, when the game is at an all-time low, that if you love this game, if you are really passionate about this game, if you've tried other games and have been disappointed, if you've purchased Battlefield or whatever else out there, and Far Cry 6, and you realize that it's not the Division 2, you know, if you're one of those guys or gals, then you're just like us. You want to keep this game alive, and it is. This game does live forever. It's got unlimited content to it, and that's because of the builds, right? The builds, the complexity of the building system in this game allows us to change our playstyle, have new experiences, basically create new experiences through builds. And then as our builds evolve, as our builds get stronger, then we can play the content differently as well. So we can play solo legendary, like I'm showing you here. If you solo legendary, okay, if you're a group player, if you play legendary in group and you solo legendary, I trust me, it is a completely different experience than group play. Completely different. Yes, it's the same enemies. Yes, it's the same spawns, but your build has to perform at a whole nother level. And I show you solo legendary builds because I hope that one day you guys do get here. If it's your style, then that's awesome. But the reality is I'm also showing you that, hey, this build is so strong it can solo legendary. Imagine what it can do in heroic and group situations, right? It's going to slaughter. So, you know, that's the point. But the point is that it's a new experience. New builds like this, a hybrid skill build that brings in 20-30% armor on kill, 6% armor regen, you know, without sacrificing damage, and that brings a balance to everything. It allows you to play out of cover and legendary. I mean, that's new to people. That's a new experience to a lot of players. A lot of people that aren't able to play that way. So the communities, we need to keep tight, you know, because what ends up happening is, like, here's an example, right? So if you go into Capitol Hill or Capitol Building and you try to matchmake on legendary, and if you stand there for 20 minutes and you can't get somebody to come into game, or you can't get a full team, then that's a disappointing experience, right? But if you were part of a community like Tux's Discord or the Tux's Clans or Tux's Players Club, and you can ping somebody and say, hey, who wants to play Capitol Building? You're always going to have somebody to play with, right? So there won't be any dead servers. You're not going to have poor experiences. Or if you're bored in the game, you're going to get new build ideas. You know, or if you're looking to do one of Tux's weekly challenges and play, you know, a legendary backwards, or play a legendary without a skill, or play, you know, do something along those lines, and then that's a new experience, right? And also right now I'm doing a big call out to all the clan leaders, not just Tux's clan leaders, but all clan leaders out there. Hey, I think right now is really important that you guys step up as clan leaders, and that you help inspire your clan members to participate, create, or join in on new experiences for the Division 2. It shouldn't just be about raiding, you know. The small portion of the community raids, a very small portion, right? So, and those that do, many people that raid just to get the exotic weapons, and then they sort of stop raiding from there because that's all they wanted. And I get it. You don't get rewards from raids. I mean, once you get your exotic weapons, you don't get any gear. You can't test out new builds because you have to use the prescribed builds for whatever you're doing, whatever your role is. So I get it, you know. So I get why a lot of people don't raid once they get all their stuff. You can't even have good conversations because all comms have to be tactical, right? Where if you're doing a 4-man group in Legendary or whatever, I mean, you guys could be talking about whatever, right? You know, the weather and you know, how bad that date is you went on last night, that computer date, you know, that screencasting date, whatever. So, you know, it's just, so right now for clan leaders, it's just like, you know, create challenges for your clans, you know, or just use one of my challenges. That's fine. You know, it doesn't matter. But, and encourage you guys, create a competition out of it. You know, I came up with one idea the other day, which is like, for example, every week I think it would be really cool to start on a particular day of a week, like on a Wednesday or something, to start a summit run with all 10 directives and start on floor 0, and then have a 4-man squad and play, and then as one guy bows out, a new guy from your clan replaces him, kind of like you would in a raid, until you get all the way to floor 100 and try to complete the entire summit 0 to 100 with all 10 directives in a single day, using as many players in your clan as possible, as a weekly challenge, as a standing weekly challenge. And your clan's going to get a lot of XP, it's going to get a lot of gear, because you're at 10 directives, right? So, and the directives do help the quality of your drops, your targeted loot drops. Not the quality in the gear itself, but how many of those drops are actually targeted loot. So, but on top of that, they're going to be getting a ton more XP as a clan. So, that's a challenge. But I think it's as clan leaders, a lot of clan leaders are just police officers. They look to see how often a person has played, or when the last time they played, and whether they're grouping up, and then they kick them or they keep them, and that's kind of where they see their role as. And then from there it's just raids. But there's so much more to being in a clan than just raids, right? There's it's what you make out of it, though, of course. So of course it can only be about raids, and the rest you can just leave up to your clan members on whether they group up or not. But help them group up more, help inspire them to get together more, help inspire them to do new challenges, create your own clan challenges, or use other people's or mine, but inspire them to play more, get together, create new experiences that will get your clan thriving, that will help increase your clan's retention or attract new clan members, so that you grow even faster or stronger to get better players or whatever you're looking for. But anyways, and so going back to what Rob was saying is, like, I feel like we've created this community, and of course it started with just me and my lonesome, but it's evolved into something that's so much greater now. And it's the community, the TuxedoBandido community is a beast of its own. So it's evolved to this really nice community. Like, if you go onto our Discord and you hang out there and chat there, all these different personalities and that are coming together to create a positive environment, and that's what I like to focus on. And of course, every now and again we get a funny bad apple that kind of flows in and out, but as a whole, really positive community that loves to share their knowledge to help you level up your game, and so we have some guys that are really solid about making sure that questions are never left unanswered, that conversations are closed with some solid thought leadership, participation, subject matter experts. And so we got new players, experienced players, veteran players. We got people that only do raids. We got people that only group up. We got people that do hardcore mode. So it's just a really good place if you want that breadth of experience, you want to be around it, but also to augment your experience outside of the game. So if you like Division enough, if you like Division 2 enough to experience it outside of your console, and you want to be able to, like, on your lunch break, chat about Division 2 builds or see what's going on in the Division 2 community, then my Discord is the place to be, because it's alive. It's alive. There's conversations happening right now. We grow really fast too. We gain like on average like 20 a day, especially when I'm doing live or dropping content. Every time I drop a video or I drop a live stream, we tend to get like 20 a day. So so it's a growing, thriving, happening place, and it's become an animal of its own. And I guess my point is that you guys make that, you as a community, So no, I appreciate you. So, and I appreciate that comment that Rob is saying, is that the game is surviving because of me, and I wish it was the case. And I'm definitely contributing, but I can definitely say directly that you guys are making it a larger impact than even I am, I think, as a community as a whole. Real solid community, and Discord is where you can experience that. And so that's why we have a very consistent join Discord message in all of our content, and you will always see that there until we can no longer fit any more bodies on Discord. But real fun place. Vidgo says only one. I can't handle a bunch of directives. She's basically saying I can only handle one. I get that. You know, actually, it's not that directives aren't that fun to run either. You know, they sort of they can take away the fun of the game unless you're doing a challenge. You know, so I like it for a challenge, like a particular challenge, like today's challenge is. You know, but like as a full-time thing, it's not. No, I don't like it. I do run the no minimap one as well a lot. You know, sometimes I have that as default turned on, just for that little added extra XP, little added level of difficulty too. But you know, but I do like to go fast. I think that's really important for me, and all those directives are basically designed to slow you down. So. Cool, guys. Well, I really hope you like this build. I hope you got the gist of what we're trying to do with this this out of cover run and gun style skill build. Definitely a ton of fun. So this is the latest version that we just whipped up on the fly, and so this one's got 30% armor on kill. That was kind of what we were adjusting for, which is a nice way to run a build. But the original version, let me find the original version, which is here. Here's the original slaughter. So the only thing that actually it's not the original because I did put on a new mask, which is giving me just basically 13% more protection from elite. So that's the only difference between the original slaughter and this one, is it's got more protection from elites. The original slaughter has 39% protection from elites, so that's the biggest difference. Otherwise, it had the original had a wyvern mask here instead. But this is this slaughter build, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's well balanced and is just as strong, if not stronger, than any ballistic skill build in the game. So I recommend you try it, even if you're a new player or a veteran player. Even if you don't solo legendary, this is a good build to run. And the idea is to remember to snatch up those memento trophies and to take advantage of those short-term buffs. That's the idea of this build. You have the power to do that. And so from there, you just need to have the dance moves and good situational awareness. Otherwise, you can do it. So that's what I have for you, folks. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of your support. Thanks for those of you who joined this live stream, as well as joined Texas Players Club along the way. Shout out to all you new members of Texas Players Club and all you Texas Players Club existing members. So, appreciate you guys. And also shout out to Texas Clan members. You guys are rocking. Keep it going. Later.
Tuxedo out.